Mark in the count. The swing arm now coming back as our countdown continues.
Good afternoon, good evening. Oh, well,
Hello.
actually, that got a little bit weird. But anyway, hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Break Something News. It's a Sunday. It's actually Easter Sunday, if that's something you
Happy
celebrate.
Easter.
We love bunnies around here. Shout out Kanji. Happy Sunday. It's time for the Break Something News. I'm joined today by this guy, Jason from Spero Toys. Jason, bienvenu.
Hello.
What's up, buddy?
Oh, you know, just eating some Easter egg candy and making cool toys.
Did you do a hunt?
We did not. I missed that. All the kids are all grown up, so no one's hunting. We have to wait for the next generation.
Yeah, I'm not. We did it, I think, twice, maybe.
Oh,
when the
that's
kids
fun.
Were little. No, when the kids were little, not
Oh,
today.
when they were little. Okay,
No,
we did
no.
it. We would normally do it every single year, and it was one of those
Okay.
things where it was like, I wish I would have like really taken in the last Easter egg hunt. You know, I remember the last one. I remember the last one as a kid. My cousin Ryan, who's like my
Right.
brother, he was 4 years younger than me, and all the other kids we had all kind of essentially grown out of it, but it was like Ryan, Shauna, and Bryce, and they were still young enough. And I remember he had like these overalls, and we were like putting stuff in his overall pocket. He had an Oshkosh Bagosh overalls, and he just wasn't
Oshkosh
getting it.
Bagosh. I love
Yeah,
it.
man, it was so. I was like, I was like, man, I felt bad for them because it was just the three of them, and like the rest of us, there was like 10 of us that were like we had outgrown it, and we were just helping them like find the eggs, you know.
Love it.
Yeah.
My kids are doing the most Easter thing and playing D&D. So
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
so cool. Oh my God.
They
You
do
should
that.
be
They
doing
do that every Sunday. Yeah, they do that every
Oh,
Sunday.
do they really? That's cool.
Mhm. Yeah, they're much cooler than I am. Anyway, we are here today because you and I and Adam, who I think is on his way back, if he's not already home from Anaheim, California.
Yeah.
Last weekend, all of us were doing Spero stuff. We were spreading the good news of Spero / Animal Warriors of the Kingdom on two parts of the country. You were in Augusta, Georgia at Toylanta.
We were in Atlanta. We were in Atlanta.
Oh, was it Atlanta? It
was Atlanta. Yeah. Augusta is Joe Fest, which is going to be in June, I believe. Yeah.
My bad.
It's on June. It's on Juneteenth, I believe. So, yeah.
Well, that makes sense given the name of the show.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's very easy to get them mixed up. It's Georgia-centric, so.
Adam and I were at Anaheim, California, home of Disneyland and N.E.W.S. We were at WonderCon. We were doing our thing, which was kind of cool because that's always fun for me to kind of go back to where I grew up-ish. I grew up in LA County, which was like maybe 18 miles away. But, you know, we spent a lot of time in LA and then in Orange County doing our thing, Disneyland. And anyway, so it was kind of cool to like kind of come home, be around there and look at toys and do the whole thing. So I was hoping that you and I could talk a little bit about our experiences there to kind of couch the conversation in terms of like indie toys in general, because there's a lot going on in terms of independent toys.
It's an exciting time. It's exciting and scary at the same time.
Yes.
Because
I want to hear the scary because I'm in the same mode.
I'll just say this till the wheels fall off, but like toy collectors need to introduce and share something new with their children, because I don't care who you are, mom and dad are not cool after once they're like those teenage years. You need to give them something. It's great to like be like, hey, I love Transformers, I love Legos, I love G.I. Joe. Let's collect this a little bit, and this is your own thing. Like this, like I feel like Minecraft and what's the other one? Roblox have like really like they've grabbed the hold of that, but everything else is ours, and it's like we're gonna be gone one day. and like they need to like let their kids experience stuff and let it be their stuff. And that's one of the main reasons why we're making toys. I really want, you know, obviously I want our generation to experience it, but I want the next generation to find something that's theirs and not just mom and dad, you know? So
No, totally. I mean, it's like Star Wars, right? And G.I. Joe,
right.
Transformers, like all of that stuff is there. But you're right, like very much so for at least my kids' age. My kids are older, they're 12, 14. Mine, Minecraft, Roblox, huge. And then you get into like what's coming from Japan right now in a big way, right? And I think like right now, if you look at all the metrics, but looking at sort of pop culture metrics and stuff, man, it's like Demon Slayer, One Piece.
Right, exactly.
So
that's, I heard someone saying, is Hasbro acquiring Demon Slayer license or?
I haven't heard that.
I thought I heard that, but just for the sake of the argument, like someone was saying like, you know, Demon Slayer is this generation stuff and we need to encourage it and let them collect the hell out of it, you know?
100%.
But yeah, and it's interesting because that's the way it's going with like toy stuff, right? And then like with pop music, like K-pop is huge, you know?
Yep.
And I think it's really important for like Western audiences to like experience it and enjoy it. And then maybe we can convince them not to like end their population. They've got like this catastrophic
there you go again
cliff that they're about to go off of, you know, and we're just kind of like, hey, have more kids and make music and let those kids buy that music and toys, you know? So
they being South Korea is what
too crazy,
is what Jason's referring to. Yeah. You and I have had that conversation, but I'm totally with you in terms of the need for new IP, new properties for young folks to kind of connect with and collect. It's true. Like we're also on the brink of like a brand new Masters of the Universe movie coming out, which is
so excited about that.
I am like,
too. I know a lot of people are on the fence about it, and you know, you have to let the next generation, you have to let go of the reins, you know, like give yourself a little permission to have fun.
Yep.
We always kind of joke about how like the boomer generation like just refuses to let go of control, and they're just riding that dimension filled rocket into wherever, you know, and they're taking us with us. And it's I'm feeling a little pessimistic today.
But, I am too. I'm totally there with you. I understand where you're coming from, and I agree with you. I think that's why, you know, obviously that's why I ride.
I'm generally
and do
a positive person. It's just I just feel like you know, good people tend to want to have families or and make stuff and enjoy things, and crazy people tend to kind of gravitate to power and just hold on to it. Like I just picture the Emperor from the Dark Crystal, like that's rotting in the bed. It's like, it's mine. Totally. And they're like, and then the other like old grizzly things
sucking
are like
youth at the same time.
Yeah, it's just it's so frustrating. Like we just want to enjoy stuff and make toys, and we've got like crazy numbskulls all over the planet in charge of everything. And it's just like, geez, guys, can you just go to the moon, you know? So
I love this Jason right now. This is great. You can hear me, right? You're good?
I can hear you pretty well.
Okay,
can you hear me okay?
It's because I've got so many things. It's kind of taxing right now, but hopefully we're good. Let's say hello to the folks, and then let's keep going and do this sort of continue the indie toy conversation, because today is going to be all about it. It's going to be crazy. Toylanta. Yeah. Okay, well, we'll get there. Let's first and foremost, let's acknowledge that the Collection Nexus and Berserk were first. I got to hang out with Ronald at WonderCon again, which is like, frankly, the best part of WonderCon is getting to connect with a bunch of folks and reconnect with folks. I'll be hanging out with them tomorrow night. So he was first, I was second, and then third would have been Larry's Geeky World. What's up, man? And let me first say, before I continue, thank you to Larry, because, and I know it's pinned here somewhere, man, I haven't used this thing in a while, or either they change things or I'm getting old. But he also, where was the starred? Am I tripping? Well, I don't know where the starred comments are, but I did see it. And thank you to Larry, who's been a member, channel member for 6 months. And I appreciate you, man. Good to see you. And Brian is here. Yes, Brian is here fourth. They're traveling, so he may or may not be listening. He's in Kentucky. Oh, look at that. See, you're all about the indie toys. You know what's up.
Yeah.
That thing's dope. Up north in Portland, we've got Recon Rage. What's up, Blake? Good to see you, sir. Thanks for hanging out. Shout out to Blake. We'll talk about him towards the end because he's doing some cool stuff that Spero Toys will be involved in June. Derek Dalzell, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. Raceland Zero, always good to see you. The Big Pink Can. Hello, hello, hello. Let's see. 8th. Wow, he's counting. What's up, Mr. Ryan Clark? Good to see you, man. E. McNeil, would that make you 9th? Would that make you 10th? What's up, E? Good to see you. Always, 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 buddy. Ray Black is here. Hello, Brick. Hello, Jason and chat. Actually, that was Hay.
Hello. How are you today?
He's telling us, here's Brian again saying the brutes look really nice. I'm assuming he means the brawlers.
Yeah, brawlers. Yeah, the brawlers.
Several pictures, and now they're lost on your phone.
Oh no, that's the worst.
I might have snuck some home from WonderCon.
See that?
So I've got some. We'll be.
Let me ask you real quick before I forget. Does your Felonious have a gold tooth? I need to check. Because the one that I didn't have his gold tooth, and I need to know which tooth it is so that I can point it out. I guess we could do that later, but
there is no. Well, that's fine, but there is no gold tooth on this guy. But as I was telling the folks at WonderCon, these are what we're looking at. Folks are painted factory samples. So this is the plastic essential. Well, this isn't exactly the right plastic. This is just whatever was in the hopper for the test shot, and then the painted versions to share. But we're going to be sending back notes to the factory like, hey, you missed a spot here, and all those kinds of little things. I'm assuming you're collecting that list. No, I know. Adam and I am.
I made notes. I'm going to send them. I'm going to send them to you too. I
check in with all of us. We'll consolidate our notes because I know Adam's going to talk to him and all that kind of thing. Let's see. Is this true? Toylanta's in Boise next year?
No, I thought that's what I was laughing at. I was laughing at it like earlier whenever.
Okay.
I was like, that's funny. It made me laugh.
Thanks, man. Not Augusta. Terrence, what's up? We at Creative Realm. What's going on, man?
Terrence got to experience what it's like behind the booth this time.
Yes, he was being an indie toy champion as well. Love it. Let's see. Hey, Julius Downey, it's my brother. Howdy, howdy. He says, D, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Let's see. Right here. This is important. Ted is saying he's looking forward to the Motu movie and he's not a super fan. That's the other thing. So I forgot to piggyback on that conversation, but Motu, I'm excited, but see your earlier conversations around young people needing a new thing. Totally agree. However, I think Mattel's doing it right by doing sort of like consistently doing new versions. Like in the last couple of years, we've gotten several new versions of them, right? We've gotten Revolution. We've gotten the CGI thing. We've gotten now, and they're doing multiple toy lines. They've got like a kids core line that's super cheap. They're continuing origins for the movie stuff. They've got the new Chronicles. So they're like reinventing. It's like Madonna, right? It's like reinventing for different generations.
They figured out the TMNT formula, which is where they like relaunch the brand every 4 to 5 years, which I think is smart because you're letting your kids cycle through and to move on to stuff.
Yeah.
While remaining, there's going to be like a core audience that's along for the ride. I was nervous when they relaunched it just because of the 2000X launch, which, I absolutely loved. I thought the Four Horsemen did an amazing job, but it was extremely frustrating to watch the line die because they had so many He-Man / Skeletor variants. And the team obviously learned from that experience. They were just like, listen, if you offer one more freaking variant, I will twist your head off, So like they obviously learned where the pitfalls from 2000X were, and they were successfully able to move past it, which is great because I love the IP. I feel like they took some cues from James Gunn as far as like, having fun and being a little bit more self-aware with the movie. So I'm super excited about it. It looks like the acting, all the cast, it seems like they really nailed. And the lead actor, it seems like he will be able to kind of grow into the role. I know people were kind of let down that he wasn't like super buff, and I was just kind of like, No, he's super buff and he's like very athletic.
Yeah.
And anyone that's exercise knows how hard it is to kind of build that kind of physique in as short a period as he did. But that being said, in the second one, he can do a little bit of a cut, and that way his muscles will be a little bit more defined. And I think people will enjoy the journey. Like you need to give a starting point for your character to evolve.
No.
Like Iron Man wasn't. Iron Man had trouble taking on Ironmonger in the first one. Like, there's no way he'd be able to fight Thanos. So you have to give your character a bit of a story arc to grow. Otherwise it's boring.
Totally. But even if they don't, I will say about because the question around the bulk of him, I think again it's very 2026, man. If you're looking at like that build of the giant He-Man was very like 70s, 80s bodybuilder, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and what was his name? Joe Weider or whatever back in the day. I forget what his name was.
I don't remember. I thought Dolph Lundgren had a very perfect physical physique. He's not,
and he was kind of lithe too. Like he wasn't super huge. Yeah,
exactly. He was just a great athletic build. So
Anyway, we didn't finish saying hellos. My bad.
Go ahead.
Let me. I skipped. I got sidetracked by oh, hey, we got Josh Brown. What's up, man? Love you. Hope you're doing good. Here you go. Hey, we need you to get some coffee or two.
I had some. I am wired. I've eaten a bunch of Easter candy. I forgot how many peeps I've had.
He's also world weary, which is completely understandable for anybody who's paying attention to the world.
For anyone that's like studied like geopolitics, like I study that stuff. Like people study like baseball stats and football and stuff. I just don't talk about it a lot.
Yeah.
And I think there's a great saying that says, all evil needs to prevail is for good men to do nothing. And it's so hard to like keep my mouth shut because it's very hyperbolic. It's like you can't give an opinion without people freaking out. And I'm just trying to call balls and strikes. So, and if we can avoid World War III, I would like that. But, if we have to go down that road, at least let us know before we go to a full day of work on Monday. Like at least give us that.
Oh man, good call. Like why am I going to work?
Like don't make us work all day on Friday on Monday and then like launch the nukes or whatever you're gonna do, So
here we go. Angry old man.
That's where I am so cranky, guys. I am trying to like
take a breath, pause on that.
I'm trying to keep the rails on, but so
I'm with you, but
anyway,
this is my escape. So Thanos Copters here. What's up, man? Alan Vine Jungle Figure Factories here. Good to see you. We got this guy, Brian Brink, who must be busy because damn, there's hella Kickstarters right now. I don't know if he's paying attention to all of them.
We're proud of you, buddy.
Wild. Let's see.
Awesome.
Alan's down for the old man rant, particularly.
So I'm done. I just needed to vent a little bit. I'm done.
What's up, D? Yes, I am. I am, in fact, an AWOK enabler.
Listen, you work too hard not to treat yourself, and AWOK's a great escape. Even if it's for 15 minutes, it's a great escape from the real world. You can have your AWOK figure and have fun and enjoy yourself.
Yeah, you can pose it up as the bombs go off. Ooh, awkward. What's up, Spaded One? Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. He says, "Hola, friendos." Close enough.
Buongiorno.
Hey, Brandon Gash is here, and he was one of the awesome people that I got to see at WonderCon.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
Thank you for the super chat, man. You don't have to do that. And thank you to anybody who does. Really appreciate it. Of course, it helps. Brandon saying, great seeing you at WonderCon. Brick, would love to sculpt a figure with you guys sometime soon.
Cool. Like to
see Brandon,
let me see what you got going on there.
Dude, Brandon, like, are you watching the Mondo TMNT? That's his work.
No, is that what Brandon worked on?
The Leo.
That Leo's amazing.
The Donnie. Yes.
Are those 1/6 scale or are they 1/12 scale?
Those are 1/6.
What's funny
he's done a bunch of stuff. That dude's anyways,
So whenever I saw the 1/6 scale stuff, I was like, I can appreciate that. I like that. It's way too expensive and it won't fit on my shelf. And then they started showing the 1/12 scale, and I was like, whoa, hold on. This is accessible. Please don't show
Mondo. Not Mondo.
Who's doing the 1/12 scale? I'm pretty sure the He-Man stuff is 1/12 scale. Like they're showing me stuff. Yeah.
Yes. So Mondo's doing
but they're not doing the
1/6 and 1/12 Motu. They're not doing 1/12 turtles that we know of. Brandon, let us know if you are. But Ling Ji Hun is doing them, aka Medi Toys is doing them, and Wait, aren't you
They're just
doing
amazing.
wait, aren't you doing TMNT?
Who,
Like,
me?
I thought everybody's doing TMNT. Isn't everybody? No, you didn't get that
I
yet.
would like to. The thing is that
Don't. Can I just tell you? Don't.
Mondo, every figure they put out is like the quintessential figure. You know what I mean? It's just like it's got everything. Like it's like a blockbuster budget. Every figure, they just throw everything that you could possibly want in several iterations you can make it into. Like the Leo's got like several different outfits that you can. It almost makes you want to get 3 of them because you can make 3 different versions of him with it.
Yeah,
and that's where like I get into trouble. I'm just like, I can't go down this road because I'll never get out. I'll have like a giant collection in no time.
Let me see. I hope I'm not missing anybody. If I am missing you, I'm so sorry. But thank you so much for joining us on the live. Oh, here we go. We got Chris Bouchard. What's going on, man? He got that Toylanta Moshi Zero, which we'll talk about for sure. We got No Chewing here. I'm just going to try and finish this off real quick. Jeff Morris, what's going on? Hello, hello, hello. Like, why did I turn to the radio announcer guy? What's up? Justin Mohan. Justin Mohan is here. Here we go. See?
Jason ran live. Off the rails. That's funny. I feel like I kind of kept it in check. I didn't go crazy.
All right. And I think we're good. Okay. Well, hello to everybody who's here. Let's start talking about what we're going to talk about. Again, couched it in. We were busy at those shows, but I also know like we hung out 2 weeks ago, I think on Adam's channel to do AWOK talk, monkey business. But you were showing me some figures. You just held up a cool indie toy that you had and some 2 other figures. You want to go ahead and share what you got?
So
what
I
you got Jason, toy
show.
Collector guy?
So Skeletron debuted this 4-inch Red Shadows figure. It's the figure itself is awesome, but the innovation is just, oh my gosh. We were saying that it feels like the successor to Pursuit of Cobra. And I love 4-inch scale. I like it just as much as I like 6-inch scale. Yeah. So the last line that I just went gaga over was the 4-inch Halo figures, which is, a couple of years ago now, but the backpack holds so many of the accessories. It's really freaking cool. And then at the show, I also picked up a Metaverse figure, which I love all the character designs. And this soft goods cape is really ambitious and really cool. I did have to kind of like look at the picture on the back of the box to try to figure out how to pose it because it's got wires hidden all throughout it.
I didn't get that one, but that is the gigantic cape one, right?
Yeah, he feels kind of like their Skeletor, even though I don't know if that's the case, but I was like, that feels like a Skeletor / Mum-Ra type thing, Cool. And then I got 2 figures from the G.I. Joe movie. I got the Cobra Law Trooper, which I absolutely love. This thing is so cool. I love
the original.
I hated it
as a kid
when it first came out, like when the cartoon first came out. And then I got this Big Lob, which I love as well. I love both of them. I don't like this one as much, but I was telling you off screen, I feel like this little detail, giving him the white socks is such an amazing, like, it's just the cherry on top. Like they didn't have to do that, but it's like, I don't know why it does it so much for me, but I was just like, oh my God, this is awesome.
Well, you're a painter and you paint figs and
exactly.
But that little pop of white lets you like you don't lose the shoes, right? Because the green of the pants
didn't have to do, but they did it, and it's so awesome.
Same with his armbands, which I know are
he's got the 2 different color armbands, which is awesome.
Yep, it's contrast.
It's an awesome figure, and I will say that I like the character, but the fact that they did a brand new body type, look how much taller he is. It's like his legs are like past Snake Eyes' hips, or his waist. It's awesome. Like I don't know. It's like I almost wanted to get some like starting lineup figures and like try to do something like this, but they're all wearing basketball shorts, so it's tough, But he's
the height
such
differential
a cool figure.
is cool too.
It's awesome. I love it. It's a great figure. It's really
when
really
you put him up next to Snake Eyes, I like seeing the height.
Right,
very cool.
And you don't really necessarily realize how big the Cobra Law, the Royal Guard is. Yeah, but he is. Maybe 4-inch. No, he's shorter, but this is an imposing figure on its own, and like so you can kind of tell how much bigger Big Lob is.
I mean, he's a baller. Like he's a big tall.
He is. It's a great basketball body type, and I hate to say it, but like I almost want to get another one because he includes a hand holding a basketball, and I'm like, I got to display this. Like, I like this, and I want to be able to play with this version, but I also want to have a version where he's got like he's holding the basketball right here, you know?
Yeah. Totally.
I kind of geeked out about this figure. I didn't realize that I liked it as much because, like,
did he come with guns and
like, he was in
stuff?
the movie, and that was it, you know?
So he came with that gun?
He did, yeah. This is a really cool kitted out gun.
Only because cool. You know he's like that's his thing is.
Yeah, he came with this, which I think is a pretty sure this is a grenade launcher.
Mm-hmm. It looks like
it looks
sorry, that looks like oh my god, Grimes' little gun.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? It's a what's it called? A ballista. But yeah, it's a cool figure, and he did come with a grenade, but it kept falling off, and I thought I was gonna lose it, so I just put it in my accessory bin. I might glue it on later on. I don't know yet.
I hope we packed everything up right. Oh, there it is. Yeah, there's his little gun. Dude, I know we're jumping around, but the guns for the accessories.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Grimes' gun is sick.
Let him see the little ivory detail.
That's messed up for Animal Warriors. This dude carrying ivory, but whatever.
What's interesting
what's up with that? Did he like kill Mamba, like one of Mamba's relatives, or
you know what? I wanted people to be able to make their own story about it, and I had something in mind, and I honestly don't remember what it was, but it is an ivory handle, and it's interesting because Dave sent me a photo of it, of what I sent, and it had deteriorated. Like, so I think maybe like the paint or something might have melted off of it. And he's like, is it supposed to look like this? And I said, no, it's supposed to have a wash. And that's what they did. So like they really nailed it. Like that's what I sent, but like it had like really worn out by the time
the carving on
producing it. Yeah. So James Carter did that one. He always does amazing work. He used to work for Hasbro, and now he does work for a bunch of other amazing indie lines. I know he's done a bunch of stuff on the Grindhouse.
I was going to say, you normally don't say his name, but is that because he's moved? Because he's moved on from
because when he was at Hasbro,
right?
we couldn't say his name. So now he's on the boxes and stuff. So, and we usually just call him Carter.
Carter. Anyway, there was also one other toy. Oh no, that was it. Was that your toy?
Sorry.
That was it, right? Yeah, I think that was it. All right. For me, I just want to. Sure. Why don't we do this? Let me just show this. I'm just having too much fun with these guys, man.
There you go. Oh, that's awesome.
You can't even see him because he's so big. But those
figures are huge. There you go.
This is that, and it's not focusing, but whatever. I just wanted to.
That Sasquatch kind of reminds me of was it the friendly Titan on Attack of Titan? I can't remember what his name is.
Oh, the Beast Titan.
Is that what it is? Was he actually friendly, or was that kind of a
he eventually, spoiler alert, but yes, he sort of works with Aaron and
that's cool. Yeah. I mean, the series is done, right? It's been out for quite a while, right?
It is done, and it's confusing.
You're on the internet, boys and girls. Like, go watch it if you don't want to get stuff spoiled. So,
all right. Anyways, there's plenty of stuff, but really for me, it's been these aren't mine. These are going back to Jason or Adam.
Oh, are they going back to me? I thought they were going to Adam. I think they're
probably
going back to Adam.
Adam always claims dibs, but that's fine.
Man, I love that figure.
But these are amazing. I've been having fun playing with those. The Void is definitely awesome. You know, we'll look at those later. But shout out the Animal Warriors of the Kingdom stuff. That's pretty damn cool. All right, let's see what makes the most sense. Let's talk about you at Toylanta. The thing with Toylanta, it's become like this crazy like indie toys thing, just like PowerCon was, right? And Legion's Con is
exactly. Yeah, it's very Legion's Con is its own thing, and it's obviously Mythic Legion / Cosmic Legion's focused, and I feel like it tends to be Cosmic Legion's focused. And there's a bunch of other great indie toys there and creators there as well. But obviously the Four Horsemen is a spotlight, and it should be. It's their event. But Toylanta is very much everything indie, as well as, secondary vendors that you can kind of pick up stuff here and there that you want. So they had Creative Beast, which do all the awesome dinosaurs.
Yep.
They had Skeletron, which does
we'll run through
Robo
them.
Skull and all the red shadows and all
I'll
that
be showing
stuff.
all of them. Yep.
Yeah, they had Savage Crucible. And then they had up and coming stuff like 9 to 5 Toys. They have stuff out. But they had From the Realm. They had Monstars.
Oh my God, I completely forgot that David Igo had like
they had
little
the Pirate line. They had
stores.
Metaverse, Meta Travelers.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, I'm hiccuping. Hiccuping and burping at the same time is always fun. They had the new Cryptoids coming out, which I did Paint Masters for.
Well, let's talk about that.
I'm sure there's more that I just
let me segue right there, because
Sure.
folks don't necessarily realize what you do outside of your own line, Animal Warriors of the Kingdom. Can you share?
Of course.
Yeah. Can you just share that, like, and we'll go through more of these in a second. But
sure. So
what else you do in terms of like the Paint Masters? Like you do stuff for other people's lines. I don't know what you're able to share, but
so I do Paint Masters for, I can't say all of them.
Yeah.
But I do Paint Masters for other companies and package design for other companies, as well as consultations. There's a lot of stuff, and I'm sure we've all been there, where there's stuff that you think is kind of common sense, that you just don't know, and sometimes you don't know what you don't know. So I offer consultations to a lot of indie creators and then not so indie creators as well. And I like to find out, where the company's at, what they're wanting to go or do in the next year, and figure out all the different angles, and see how we can best execute that type of stuff.
Yeah. And I love that, because, someone who I know is like working on their line we were just talking. He's like, man, Jason's been super helpful. He's answering all my questions. And, I know that of you, and I know that's a thing, but it's great to sort of hear people have that experience and be like, so can you tell us what
Brutal Realm?
Can you tell us what you've painted, what other lines you've actually done paint on?
So I did the Mothman for the Cryptoids that's coming up.
Yep.
And I'm trying to think. I don't know if I can say the other stuff that I worked on at the show. I need to talk to them about it.
Okay.
I will.
Well, let's just say that Jason's paint work is, as people know from AWOK, and we've shown lots of paint samples, is amazing. And you've seen him work on the Cryptoids, and he has worked on a couple more that people I think would be surprised on. I guess you'll be able to reveal those when they come out. You're about to say something?
I'll be able to reveal it once the products are out and about.
Sure.
I think a lot of people were surprised they got the new Bulletproof from Big Bad Workshop, and that Dan Mitchell worked on. I did the packaging for it.
Love it.
So if you look on the bottom, it says, Dan Mitchell designed it and everything. And then I did all the packaging artwork and stuff like that. So you could probably guess a little bit. That's just a little bit of a hint. So take that clue and roll with it.
Okay, how about this? Did the other consulting work and the Paint Master work that you've done, was that before Spero, or does that come out of you having done Spero Toys?
It came out like kind of organically. So the indie toy creating circle is very small. I think the first Paint Masters that I did for another toy company and consulting was for the Plunderling line with Ricky. So I think he had maybe 12 figures out of the first wave of his Plunderlings, and I think I did 8 of the 12.
Gotcha.
And then I think they might have used 7 of the 8 that I did. Like one of the figures was just too dark, and he was like, I think we're going to take another pass at it, which is totally fine with me.
Right.
And then he just had a lot of questions, because there's a lot of stuff to try to take in that you just don't know about, so.
Of course. I love it, man. And you're doing your own thing. You're involved. Like people know you, of course, and you're at these cons with people. You're talking to people. People are consulting. So let's talk a little bit about what was going on at Toylanta. And as I was going through this, there's no way I'm going to talk about all of them.
Right.
But let's start off with our favorite. Let's talk about this one.
Oh yeah, here we go. So Yeah.
What do you know about this line?
Which one you want to talk about? I'm guessing you want to talk about Moshi Zero.
I mean, either one. I actually want to ask you in general, how was it being at a show before we get to the Moshi Zero exclusive? Like, how was it right now at this point where people had your figures in hand? I guess I should say our figures, Spero, in hand. 2023 is when we first got them in hand. It's 3 years now. People know you for what? Basically 4.5 waves of this type of figure that we're seeing on the screen right now, and that sort of original buck.
Right.
And then, of course, we did the Kickstarter and unlocked like the brawlers and a bunch of other bucks that are in this awkward place, though, right? Because you and I deal with the Kickstarter and updating folks. Are like, man, we got to tell folks.
You do a great job with the Kickstarter.
Yeah, thank you. But just we're in this weird place. Can I ask what it's like to be at Toylanta with people coming up to you and talking with you? Like in general, how does that feel right now at this stage of Spero Toys life?
So having those factory samples is fantastic because people can pick them up, they can play with them, they can see what the body type looks like next to the standard buck. They've got like an imposing presence. Obviously, the gorilla is a bigger body. But this stuff's brand new, so they can kind of see them. And whenever you put out a wave of figures, you're like, what's going to be the most popular? Which one are people going to gravitate to? And which ones are going to be like a little bit like, I don't know if I like this or not. And it was very interesting to see the interest across the line. Some people really kind of gravitated to Grimes, and some people gravitated towards, the Void or Oxidus or Hannibal or Kali. So, that's a good feeling because, people are like trying to they want to buy them at the show. And I'm like, this is going to be out this summer.
It's awkward.
We did figure out halfway through the show, Brick mentioned that the QR code was working, but whenever they would scan it, it said it was unavailable. So we thought we were offering pre-orders at the show, and come to find out they couldn't actually pre-order. So we got to figure that out. I don't know why it was doing that. It's website stuff,
Yeah.
So,
Shopify.
Yeah, but I feel like, the Void is my personal most anticipated figure, and I have a feeling it'll make a couple of people's top 10, for 26, which is, obviously hugely flattering. I'm hoping. I'm not expecting.
I was going to say, what happens. Look, you're putting the cart before the horse there, but sure.
I know. I'm getting ahead of myself. I just really, really like it, and I think it's
a great figure.
Very unique figure.
Yeah, like all of these little hits to the glow of those. That's sample, right?
Yeah,
yes.
and it was important for me to make sure that there's a bunch of different shades of silver and gray and stuff on there because in the comic book it's got that as well, and we wanted it to like really feel like a premium type figure. So I hear what you're saying in terms of like because we were doing the same thing simultaneously on the West Coast, where it's like these were there and people are like, those are great, I want those. Like, well, we don't have them, but I feel like that's why I'm wondering at the show, because this was very much like an indie toy kind of like experience at Toylanta. So there were people with like without even having product out yet, or people that are just like Crypt Toys was there and they're in the Kickstarter. So I would assume that over there people are a little bit more understanding, but on the West Coast people are like, why can't I get that? Like, what's going on? I don't get it. There were, like you said, because of the indie toy presence at the show, people were a little bit more acclimated to, getting to see the product, but not necessarily purchase it at the booth. And I tell the guys that don't have anything to sell, but just showing stuff, it's like you can't go wrong at that. You're just showing off your cool stuff. There's so Terrence's booth had the pirate line, which I'm sorry, but it's
Tide Realm Corsairs.
What's it called?
Tide Realm Corsairs.
Yeah, and then they also had this really cool Aztec line, which I'm super excited about. I'm excited about both of them.
That's my line, dude. I can't wait.
The Aztec stuff, Aztec and line stuff. It's like I can't get enough of it. I just want to
Rise of the Fifth Sun.
Right. I just want to put them on the ground and like make Aztec snow angels out of them,
Okay. Okay.
Sure. But yeah, they look really cool, and I can't wait to like take them and like smash them together.
Yeah. But so being at Toylanta, having people walk by, I know there's a bunch of folks who like have already tasted bit the Spero Toys Animal Wars of the Kingdom apple.
Yeah.
Did you find that you were also finding people who'd never heard
For
of AWOK?
sure. So the
Nice.
last time we offered an exclusive was PowerCon 2023, which was what was it? Was it 22? I don't remember now. Anyway, it was
what's that? PowerCon
Tangent.
the Void? Yeah, it wasn't
Tangent.
22.
It was
would have been
23.
2023.
It had to be 23. Yeah. So that's the last exclusive that we had. And like I remember people like kind of gobbling them up, but you know, time passes and you kind of forget about it. And so it was really cool to have people like clamoring and like waiting around for that Moshi Zero to show up at the booth. It actually didn't get to us until Sunday. It was traveling around to different vendors and different spots. Yeah. So I feel like it built up the anticipation. And I was joking with someone. I told Brian, I was like, Brian George, I was like, this is the first time I actually see it in hand. I mean, I made the paint master and the package and everything. But to me, it's a win-win type of situation because, you know, people get this cool exclusive. And then the back of the box is like a cross sell of all of our figures. You know, this is like a standalone type of thing. That's just a fun exclusive, but I feel like it's going to introduce a lot more people to the line.
I think so too. Just because of the nature of it, it's a tribute to like, you know, a very recognizable,
a beloved character that we grew up with, you know?
Yeah. And so I think a lot of those folks who maybe haven't been necessarily paying attention to independent toys or seeing this and going like, holy crap, that I remember that, but it's different. And then learning about what's Animal Wars of the Kingdom. I think I love that. I love that for AWOK. I love that for folks sort of newly discovering indie toys and AWOK.
And you know, there was a lot of people, I say a lot, but there was probably, you know, 5% of people that would say, you know, I'm literally just here and literally like buying just stuff that reminded me of when I was a kid, you know, and it's kind of like, that is a limited, finite resource. Like you're going to get everything that you didn't have as a kid or that you wanted as a kid or that you're reclaiming. And then where does it go? It's kind of like, you know, you're building a stairway to nothing, you know? That's why I think mixing and matching stuff, which is how I personally collect, is the best way to kind of keep your interest in the hobby and like always be kind of chasing that carrot. I always tell the story about my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle collection. When I was a kid, I had, you know, probably 50 TMNT toys. And as a kid, that's an impressive collection, right? And as soon as I completed the 4 turtles, as soon as I got Michelangelo, my interest just evaporated. And I was just like, this sucks. I never want this to happen again with a toy line or anything that I'm collecting. And so I always kind of like purposely leave something out. Like I could have gotten the dragon from the Mythic Legion dragon, but it's like, it's so fun to have that epic thing to kind of chase. And even though I don't know if I have plans, I might get it. We don't know, but it's fun to have something to chase after.
Well, I know you were talking about, you know, it being a finite thing for hunting for nostalgia or whatever, but what I find is that there's obviously room for all sorts of collecting, but you know, see our earlier comments around, and your earlier comments in particular around the need for new IP. I think that's what's going to keep things going forward truly, because I think not every
to music and movies as well, and TV series. I feel like TV series is the only thing that's breaking ground. There's so many amazing TV series, and they're not afraid to do a slow burn. Like, you know, I feel like Fargo started it. And then Severance is such an amazing show that offers a slow burn. It doesn't pander to the audience. It's like, hey, you need to figure some of this out for yourself and draw your own conclusions. It's so interesting how groundbreaking TV series have become. I feel like the music industry has been like painfully stale and stagnant for the last 5 or 6 years. And the way the movie industry is going,
they were like this.
It's interesting.
Sorry, the reason I was saying is that music obviously went through a massive shakeup with streaming and everything that kind of
you know what?
And whereas TV greatly benefited from increased production from streaming. So they were kind of on these two different trajectories. This is what I'm trying to do. Sorry, Brian Brink.
And I think the music industry is suffering from a bunch of producers and writers who are our age, you and I's age, We are not hip. We're not with it anymore.
For sure.
They're just holding
I'm
on
extra
too
on it.
long. They need to have like younger people come in and allow them to make music. I see really great bands on Instagram and TikTok and stuff. I'm like, this is what should be on the airwaves. This is so good. But they're not going to ever get that push and that break that they are, because they're not part of that like music industry machine.
No. They'll get it at live shows, but I know you and I could talk music forever, and I do need to start up that music channel, but that's a whole other conversation here real quick.
I want to do that. I'm looking. I'll be on that as well.
I know,
but yeah, let's get back to the AWOK figures.
Music people. Yeah, let me ask you this. So here's Kevin toying around. Hey, you ever think about heading up to do some shows?
I would love to go to Canada. I really need to get my passport. I say I have a passport. I need to have it updated.
Yes.
So I'm not sure. Is Toronto on the East Coast or the West Coast?
East Coast.
It is on the East Coast. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would like to do a convention that's kind of more on the West Coast, because I want to go visit Arlen and not Adam. No, I'm joking. I would love to visit both of them.
But you should check out.
Don't they live close to each other? I always get mixed up.
Who?
Adam and Arlen.
Is Arlen in Vancouver?
Arlen's in Vancouver Island. So I'm assuming within like 20
they're
miles.
Actually close to each other. And then, But yes, and I'd go up to Vancouver. I love Vancouver. But hey, Toronto and Kevin's show in particular is another great one of those, like, I feel like could be a cool indie toy epicenter at some point.
Yeah.
But
that sounds cool.
And wherever Kevin goes, there's always a good crowd.
Right.
I love that guy.
It's always fun.
What's up, Hella Geek? All right. Well, hey, let's real quick. Let me ask you about this, because you mentioned that the actual exclusive Moshi Zero didn't show up at your table till Sunday. It sounded like, according to this post, it was supposed to start with you, then be at Toy Federation
to get it on Friday.
What they do, rotate it,
and the shipment was late. They got it on Friday, but it was like after the show. And so Saturday was Toy Federation. Yeah. And what's funny is, I think Toy Federation sold out of their stock within the hour. I think it was closer to 20 minutes. Oh, there you go. Nice.
Sorry, I told you I wouldn't do that to you, but I didn't mean to interrupt. But yes,
I'm more concerned about getting like an Airbnb in the area, and then never leaving. An Airbnb with a jacuzzi hot tub.
Back to this. So you got it on Sunday. Did it seem like it did well? Did you hear?
It did awesome. I know. I personally sold out of it. I think we had it for 30 minutes. It sold out. And what's funny is Brian George was nice enough to let his copy stay on the table so people could see it.
Nice.
And one guy was leaving, so he sold that one to him, and we were able to get another one for him. So they gobbled them up. I was very happy to see how fast they sold out.
That's awesome. And I'm not even going to ask if I got a copy. I just sort of resigned to the idea that I will.
My plan was to get one for all of us.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't even get one.
I know. I totally know.
But they didn't bring all the stock at the show. Like, they were able to get a certain amount, so we will get them. I don't know if they'll be in that exact package or not, but
c'est la vie.
We'll get it figured out. We'll all get one. Everyone all the Spero boys will get one.
We'll see. All right. But I'm glad to hear that folks were digging it. I'm glad to hear that
it was really
sold
cool.
out real quick. Yeah. And then this won't be the only exclusive Spero fig, particularly at Brett.
No, we've got other stuff planned.
Shows. Yeah.
So one of the things that Adam really was able to kind of rein me in on was like figure releases that are using current tooling. Yep. We've got a bunch of cool stuff coming up. There won't be such big gaps,
Right.
So like if you look at the other two figures that we had available at the booth, you guys had that as well. That's a new version of Pale, and then a new Army Builder figure. So we're going to be doing stuff like that in between brand new figures. So that way, I say brand new figures, brand new part use. So that way, you're getting brand new figures and or a Pale or a main character variant while you're waiting for the lizards or something, waiting for the female / species or stuff like that. So
yeah, that's on the
the
make
docket.
believe. I was gonna say the make believe agenda for our shouldn't be make believe meeting. The three of us need to sit down, and the
Right.
team needs to sit down.
Yes.
But yes, no, I think it's exciting times for Spero Toys and Animal Wars of the Kingdom. But we're not here to just talk about that. Cool. But because you're really just a one of many amazing toy makers that are doing some really cool things. I think it's like really pushing forward toy collecting, and
it gives you so many opportunities. Like I got this figure a while back. This is the Iron Man, Ultimate Iron Man. And I put this Action Force figurehead on it. And I feel like it goes great because it's like, it almost looks like an older Tony Stark, And this figure came with two heads. Like one had a cigar, and I was like, I'm obviously putting the cigar one on the guy. So now I've got this extra head, and I'm like, let's do an older, hey, look at that guy in the background. Let's do an older Tony Stark, So, yeah.
Well, that's your Grimes with the cigar. Could you how hard was it to not put this head on? I got to tell you, when I was playing with the Grimes thing,
soon as it didn't come like that. As soon as I got it, I was like, the cigar head has to go on. It's not going to be like that in the package because we have to worry about paint rub, but like it's going to be my default head.
Yeah, and you don't want those. You don't want to promote cigars. No, I will say, like, I didn't clock until I played with these things at WonderCon how Arnold Schwarzenegger coated.
I love Arnold. I just love it.
I was gonna say, was that a thing that you were thinking about, or did it just kind of work out?
So my dad is a cigar and pipe connoisseur, so that was kind of like a little homage to Dad.
Got it. But it's cool because he's got a little bit of Commando going on with the cigar.
Exactly.
He's got a little bit of the Terminator with his shotgun.
I think he would like it. He would be very pleased with it.
So this is your Toylanta booth.
You'll see that I don't know how to post figures.
I was about to say, I love you, Jason.
It's so vanilla.
I was going to say, I feel like ours were posed up just a little bit better on the West Coast.
Yours looked cool.
A little bit more style.
Just be glad that they weren't like this.
Between me messing with them and then Cheney from Toy Amigos came by. Cheney,
nice.
Are you familiar with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure?
I don't know if we've ever met. I know we did a podcast though.
You did. You did. You know Cheney, but JoJo's is an anime. From
JoJo's Amazing Circus or something like that.
Bizarre.
Is that really what it's called?
JoJo's Bizarre Adventures. So they'll do like
so
really
close.
Sassy.
I'm gonna make another one. I'm gonna make a parallel anime, JoJo's Amazing Circus, and it's gonna be like super similar, just a parody of it.
Well, I was just going to say that he's on this JoJo's tip, so a lot of the posing is very sassy. I've never seen AWOK so sassy, but cool.
I will say I am so proud of our figures. Whenever people see them out of the box, they're like, "Oh, I get this. I see it in person."
Yeah.
There was a dad and his little girl that came, and he's been trying to get her interested in the line, and until that point, she had only seen them in the package. And they wound up getting the mongrel and someone else, but she was like, "Oh, that looks so cool." And he's like, "I literally showed you that figure 4 times at the store in the package,
But they don't get it till they see it, 100%. All right, so this was cool, man. It's cool to see this. I got to tell you, that was our biggest shortcoming, of course, here on the West Coast because it's expensive to move everything over here, and logistics stuff. But the lack of inventory at the show was probably a challenge, because I think if you get to see, like you said, all these different figures, and you have a bunch of the sort of like the original hero Buck, and the Gorilla Thane Buck, and the brawlers on display, it like gives people like, oh no, it's not Animal Warrior, it's like hella Animal Warriors, right?
And one of the things that I told Adam going forward is we want to start doing 10 of the original SKUs at each show, because we've got a ton of SKUs now. They are selling out, but it's a bummer to put a bunch of the SKUs out, and a bunch of people wanted Lexion, and we sold out of the SKUs at the show on Friday. So we're trying to just do 10 of the of series 1, not series 1, collection 1. I don't know what we're calling it. The original assortment. And that way people don't really know what to expect at each show. It kind of gives them a reason to kind of pick up those harder to find figures now.
Yeah. Well, it is a tricky thing, and it's a good problem to have, right?
It is. It's great.
So I gotta say, there are a couple of things here real quick. Red, if you're asking about where to get Mochi Zero, like I don't
That
know how
was
to
a
answer that. If you
true
missed it, we just
exclusive. It's a good
yeah,
Journey
yeah.
exclusive. So they put on several shows a year. They put on Toylanta, Joelanta, and they just acquired a Power Rangers show. I'm not sure what that one's going to be called though.
Oh,
What's up,
really?
Jordan? Yeah.
That's awesome. I didn't
I don't
realize
know if I
that
should
they're
have
gonna
said
do
that
that.
out loud. Hopefully that's been announced, but I just announced it. You broke that on your show. That's amazing.
You broke that on the show. You broke all sorts of things. But looks like you guys had a really great like sort of display. I think we
Yeah,
did
I can
well,
tell
and we'll
this
take a
is
look at ours in a
that
second.
those photos are from Friday because I could
Okay.
tell that little display on the back, that white thing, that was before our banner was up, and there's a lot of
Oh,
toys
yeah,
on the
yeah.
table.
Gotcha.
So yeah, you could see like I'm holding the banner in my hand, so that must have been like right after I put everything up.
Yeah, you're like
Another
getting
thing
ready to
that we
put it up.
did that I was inspired by another by Super 7. They had little name tags kind of showing everything.
Oh, yeah. This was great.
Yeah, the idea that I added was putting the QR codes because as
Yep.
we'd sell out of stuff, people could just scan that QR code.
Yep. No, I thought that was a really cool idea, especially for folks who read. But no, they're fantastic. All right, Animal Warriors of the Kingdom.
We sold out on Friday, so
this guy, Lexion?
Yeah, we sold out of that one on Friday.
Nice. He's one of my favorites. I like the colors a whole lot. All right. Well, let's talk about other indie toys, and we'll, I know it's going to be hard not to just want to jump in and like comment on all these, but we're going to lay them all out just to give folks a sense of like how amazing Toylanta was.
Right.
And then we'll contrast it with how things were at WonderCon, because very different type of show. Like this is very much collector centric. It's not a bunch of other pop culture stuff. So it's very much toy collectors, folks like us, people like watching this are at Toylanta. It looked like an amazing show. First up, and then as we end, I want to ask you for your three highlights. So let's get through who's there. And apologies in advance to people who I didn't feature here, but I try to get as many as I could. So first off, like let's respect where it's due, right? Like if, let's rewind. McFarlane really kicked off this notion of independent toys, really just like he did, him and the other folks of Image Comics did with comic book publishing, right? They really of broke the hold of DC and Marvel, and they did their own thing with Image. And then he did the same thing with the toy companies and said, you know what, I'm going to create my own figures using my own characters and Image characters. And along for that wave was a team of sculptors that eventually broke off, did their own studio, right? For Horsemen Studios. And here they are, 12 years later with a line that's been around, 27 years later as a studio. 12 years, they've did Mythic Legions, their line. And then they just finished off a crazy RPG like tie-in to their toy line that just finished yesterday and was huge, of like 1.3 million. I forget what it was when it finished. I didn't actually clock it at the very end, but well over $1 million. So congrats to them. But I start off here because like you and I have always talked about, that's the gold standard. Like that's if there's a North Star for us to kind of figure out where Spero will land.
The only reason they're still indie is because they're not in big box stores, but that's it. Because they're like the pinnacle of, you can't go any higher indie toy wise than the Four Horsemen, and they're all great guys. They're a pleasure. They mentored me before I came out with stuff, and they've been nothing but kind to us. So I'm super excited about where they're going. And it's funny because I did what I always do with the Kickstarter, is like I backed this Kickstarter, and I don't know what the hell I got. I know I got maybe the six core figures and then one other one. But I'm going to totally forget about it until it's time to ship,
That's the beautiful part, right? They'll just eventually show up to you. I will tell you, for the first time in a while, I did not back a Kickstarter. In fact, two. I had to pay for a new roof and I had to chill.
That's just life,
Yep.
And again, it gives you something to look forward to. You can acquire them, over a period of time.
Well, that's what I was going to say with the Four Horsemen too. It's like the reality is like if anybody's been paying attention in the last couple of years,
That's funny.
just I'm gonna sneeze and then new toys are gonna pop up. Oops, are gonna pop up like that they're gonna put out right between. God, how many lines now? But Mythic Legions, Cosmic Legions, Figure Obscura, Infinite Legions, Legacies of Mythos. What am I missing? I think that might be it.
What is Legacies of Mythos?
It's the sort of like version 2s or new versions of older figures that they're bringing back.
Yeah.
From, yeah.
So Sam at Skeletron bought 3 of those. I've got 2 of them, and he got 3 of them. And I was just I take it back. He got 2 of them, and then 1 from the Rising Sun.
Yeah.
And
there's only 2.
I was well behaved. I knew I was not going to get anything just because of the carry-on situation. I knew I didn't have a lot of room for stuff.
Yeah.
But he got them, and I was just like, I got to play with them, and I was just like, you did good. And I was like, I'm totally picking these up at the next show. I'm not bringing home anyone else's stuff except for me.
Good for you. Good for you.
My bags were packed with, prototype stuff, and there was really no room.
Well, again, Mythic Legions and Four Horsemen as a company, the sort of like the gold standard, the trailblazers of new toys.
Absolutely.
Even at this point, like going beyond their existing like main what do you call it? Like their bread and butter, which is action figures to do an RPG.
Right.
Which I know you've been working with the comic book, and I know that's a thing that we said we would talk about, but that's where the lore would take place. And I really I dig that they're going this different route, because if you look at the theme, right, the Dungeons and Dragons,
it totally makes sense. It runs parallel. I've always seen it as like Dungeons and Dragons adjacent, and like I'd be very surprised if people weren't using the figures for years now as their what do they call them, avatar, a game piece or whatever,
for their characters. Look at this. Anyway, so they were there, and I'm going to try and get through these. I know we're going to want to talk about each one, so
I won't say anything unless you prompt me. How's that?
Yes. Creative Beast Studios, buddies of ours, of course. These guys are amazing with their multiple lines now. They've got Beasts of the Mesozoic. They've also technically got Beasts of the Cenozoic and other things, as well as Cyberzoic. And so they were there again, showing off a very different form factor. They're action figures, yes, but mostly, creatures, right? Dinosaurs. You've got their prehistoric ancestor of the rhino. You've got saber-toothed tigers, etc. And then moving into like some kind of future, their alternate world where they've got tech and armor and stuff. And these really are their first.
They're amazing. All that armor can transform into its own figure,
like little jet, right? A little plane.
Yeah.
And then this one turns into like a crawler. This one turns into like
they're awesome.
Badass.
I love
incredible. Them. So shout out to them. They're doing amazing stuff. Look at that. I can't.
Oh man, look how awesome that is.
Just like a whole other level. Whole other level engineering. The paints in these are beautiful. They've got another dragon.
The dragon looks amazing. There's an ice dragon as well that I think they probably sold out of. So they don't have it on display.
One of my favorite toys, period.
It's
the Arctic Dragon.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So beautiful. Then we've got on the other side of like embracing sort of the, like you said, the nostalgia and the things that we love. We've got Fresh Monkey Fiction and Big Bad Workshop doing their thing
display.
With props, with properties like the Tick, which is awesome. These are their 112 versions of the Tick. They've got this stuff, which is fantastic. That's what you got, right? No, that's not what you got.
That is so it's kind of like a shared universe.
Yes, this is the Rising Moon, or what is it? Crimson Moon from the Action. Action. I bit my tongue there, but yes.
Oh, are you okay? It's from it's a part of Monster Force.
It is, yes. I didn't actually bite my tongue, but anyways, people got it. But yes, these are dope. I think these might even be, are these the smaller versions? These are the 3.75.
No, those are everything that I remember at the table was a 6-inch scale.
Oh, okay. These are the bigger ones.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. I mean, they've just got so much, right? They've got the Monster Force stuff.
So if you look at the red ninja guy in the middle, I did 3 colorways for that figure. And I didn't know which one they were going to pick until I saw like this version of it. And I was like, I think they made the right choice. And I told Bill, and Mike, I was like, you made the right choice, but I wanted the green version for some reason. I did a green, the red, obviously, and then I don't even remember what the other one was. But I was like, for selfish reasons, I wanted like a kind of like a hiding tactical army guy ninja. But this makes more sense.
Was that you just being Jason, or were they like, give us 3 options?
Bill just said, just give me 3 options.
Okay.
It was
I wasn't sure if you were just like, you only asked for 1, but I gave you 3.
Like anytime we do a project, you know, we have a discussion and it's like, you know, let me know how much you want me to follow the notes and play around a little bit. So it just really depends on which project we're working on, you know?
Hey, I'm going to get this out of the way because I know he's been asking. I haven't been ignoring you, Chris Bouchard, but yes, there will be.
Yeah, there will be a tiger.
AWOK, larger
tiger.
brawler tiger in one way, shape, or form coming. You might have seen it spoiled at one point in a picture, or teased, I should say.
It was in like the background, and I think it was out of focus.
Yeah. And there is a Tiberius.
Tiberius is an orange tiger. This will be a different figure.
Yes, as Yoke 2112 is saying. So we got you. I didn't want to ignore you. I'm not ignoring you. All right. So these are dope. Shout out to Mark there, or the version of Mark, the Gridiron Weapons supplier.
That's funny. So
I got to meet him at WonderCon, actually.
Okay.
We'll talk about that later, but Gridiron is dope.
Chris Scott did all these paint masses, I believe. Don't quote me on it, but I'm pretty sure Chris did all of these.
Beautiful stuff. So you got these guys who are doing, again, something very different. There's a lot of it that is like, again, to go back, we saw Tick, which is clearly licensed IP. Then there's stuff in here with hints and notes of things we remember. Like if you remember the old school G.I. Joes when they were the adventure team doing the pulpy stuff like this. This is what you got.
This is the first figure for the next thing is Agents of Omega. This is the first figure that we're doing. I did packaging design for him. I really want the figure. Like something about it. It's not over it's just a great avatar. Like I can take that and like, that's my guy. And I'm going to go on an adventure or whatever. And this big cool snake that comes with as well.
Look at that. Woo.
I don't know where the head's from, to tell you the truth, but yeah.
That's very adventure team. That's very old school.
Right. For sure. Right.
And of course, this guy's
awesome. That's not the package behind him. I love the packaging. It's like this. It's like a Kill Bill callback where like it's a bunch of yellow. You know, just a cool figure, fun.
Yeah, he's a little bit more smooth. He's got more aura, as the kids would say.
Right.
Pale.
You would definitely order a dry martini with an olive.
So they've got all sorts of stuff. Again, like shout out to Big Bad Workshop, Fresh Monkey Fiction, another awesome indie, just sort of paving the way. And of course, you know, obviously Big Bad Toy Store is in a
Big Bad Workshop.
Yeah, Big Bad Toy Store though is involved, and they're in a position.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah,
they're awesome, man. So not only are they supporting this project and putting out toys, but obviously they've supported AWOK, Spero Toys heavily, and all the other indies, and they give us a place to like sell the toys. Of course, there's retailers and stuff, but like Big Bad Toy. I keep saying it shop now because of Big Bad Workshop. Big Bad Toy Store. I mean, that's like you
can just say BBTS.
Yeah, that's like the toys, the modern Toys R Us, man. Like if you're
yeah, for sure.
One-stop shop. Anyways, they were there at Toylanta. These guys were there. Skeletron were there, and these figures. That's what you got.
Yeah, so that was the figure I was showing off earlier.
Yep.
It's such a great figure. All of their figures are amazing. The vehicle, the Robo Skull, is an absolute
killer.
Just a 10 out of 10. The engineering is dialed in. The thing looks amazing. It's got gorgeous paint deco. Just an all-around awesome company.
Yeah, they're killing it, man. I've watched reviews.
Keep talking. I have to take a comfort break.
I'll get
right back.
I haven't had any experience with these myself in hand, but just sort of seeing people's reviews and talking to people who have them, I've really loved seeing what's going on. This figure is something I probably would go back to. They run a little smaller than most of the stuff on my shelf, but I think he looks amazing. And then they're doing the 3.75. So there's just all sorts of really cool things happening in this indie toy space of people definitely still like notes of that nostalgia, like we're looking at with Fresh Monkey Fiction, but also very new. This is right there with Animal Warriors of the Kingdom, right? Where it's like, yeah, I remember Thundercats, but it's not Thundercats, and it's its own thing, and it's beautiful. Same thing with Skeletron, man. Their stuff is there's stuff that might remind you of older things, that might tie back to some older properties, especially if you're from the UK, but very much new. And look at this. I mean, right here, like as Hella Geek's saying, this is that Robo Skull, which is like, sure, it's a little bit TIE Fighter. If you know anything about where this comes from, like this is something that existed during that time period that maybe a lot of us here in the States never got to see, but this is killer. Yeah, folks are loving this stuff, which awesome. Anyway, fresh, sorry, where are we at? This is Robo Skull Skeletron, my bad. Yeah, they're just like killing it in terms of like 375, 6-inch. So there's Creative Beast Studios hanging out with these guys. So this place was really like indie toy haven. I'm gonna make sure I mute him just in case. All right, moving on. We got Diabolic Studios. Mikey from formerly High School Creations was the name of the company before, and that was his tag on IG. But he was also at Toylanta. And shout out to this is a Bro Guy Toy Reviews. I was able to check out his coverage, which I will remind people. At the bottom, you'll see a URL swinging by, as well as that QR code that's way over there. That'll take you to the links after the show. Go watch this guy's coverage. Relatively new channel. Go subscribe. He's doing good work. Check it out. But this is an interview with Mikey, Diabolic Studios, who did Wall XD and then the Mythic XD, giving folks some cool options in terms of display and essentially the modern day equivalent of a dope playset, which I love. And then who else we got here? Harbinger Studios, Savage Crucible, showing off their licensed Frazetta item of oh my god, whoa, you're muted. Let me unmute you first.
Sorry.
Do you remember this guy's name? Oh my god, what am I?
Deathstalker. So awesome. I'm super excited about it. And they nailed the pose too.
Yes. And I don't think that's the right name, but I don't even have the name in my brain.
I'm almost positive it's Deathstalker.
Death Dealer.
Death Dealer? Damn it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to copyright Deathstalker
then. Anyway, this thing's looking really cool. It's a cool collab, so cool. Right? Between them and Fish Toys to do that version of
and there's
that
several versions of the Death Dealer. So that head right there is one version, and then it will compact with an additional head. So depending on which painting you prefer, I actually like that one the best. So it works out.
Well, what's sick is it's modular. So there are different versions, like you said, in Frazetta's paintings, and so you can mix and match. I think it's 3 different pieces.
Faceplate?
Yeah, it's like a weird cool. and attachments too that you can then combine to make the particular type. I've got him on order.
That's awesome. And
then they've got. I was a Kickstarter.
I love that little guy.
I was a Kickstarter backer.
Yeah.
I've got the first 3 waves on lock. Not every figure, but a good amount of them. But then down the road, we're going to get this body type too. Kind of like, we just were able to open up the brawlers and those kinds of body types. Harbinger's also doing that with their new body types coming down the pike, which is awesome. Elric's coming. So they're, again, cool. Another just great company doing some cool stuff, and these figures really move really well. They're beautiful.
Yeah, they've got great articulation. I don't know what the articulation is based off. Is there another figure line that has something similar? I don't remember. Or is
they're doing some unique stuff. Like
they're
their
doing
elbows
are innovative. Yeah,
their elbows are pretty unique. Their butterflies are. I mean, it's a butterfly, but it's engineered a little bit differently.
Okay,
can even. But it's cool. They're really, really cool figures, really well made. They feel good. I have some issues with like standing them and balancing them. And a lot of that probably has to do with like size.
Kind of just learning the system, learning how they.
Yeah. You know how like people talk about like Mythic Legions, they tend larger heads and larger feet. And I know there's some folks who like specifically zoom in on that and they're like, oh, I don't really like them. But I'll tell you, man, it's hard to knock down in the Fusions figure.
Easy to stand.
1.0s, I should say. 2.0s, sometimes they often fall. But Savage Crucible is killing it. This is, I want to say, was like, came on the heels of the AWOK Kickstarter. Probably this was the next one that I was like,
it was the one after the first.
Right. The first Primal Series collection. I was like, okay, cool. I'm in on these and wanted to support these. They're humming along.
I love the fish figures too.
Yeah, that's wave 3. Can't wait
that
to get
one.
those.
The black one's my favorite one. Like its mouth is like super neon blue inside.
So good. So these are dope. There's that little guy who's coming. I can't wait to see that because I've never seen him in real life. So in my head, I don't yet know how he looks next to others. Just
it's about a 5-inch
right.
tall.
It's just different when you see them, right? Like in my head. Same with the brawlers, man. Until I saw the brawlers next to the hero, I was like, it didn't register. So
it's hard to tell. Yeah. Photos it's very hard to get scale, you know.
Savage is doing great. We talked about Meta Travelers already, and I know people are starting to get those in hand. That's
the one that I have right there. I've got a bunch of them, but that's the one I got at the show. I got 5 others.
I should have 2 figures, 2 or 3, I forget, but they should be coming tomorrow. Actually, they already shipped, and they're being held because my work is closed. But I go back to work tomorrow. So
I love the character designs like that. I got that one as well.
I got this one,
and now I know how to hold the weapon because I was having the axe part facing outward.
Oh,
it's your toy. You do what you want to do with it.
Versus the hammer.
Yeah,
the wings look really, really cool.
They're really cool. Very cool.
I've heard some feedback and folks, sharing some critiques of them, but I definitely want to get them in hand and sort of see them. But I think you were saying this earlier. They're
from
great.
A little bit more articulation. Specifically, it needs a bicep swivel.
Ah, I see. Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. But these are all totally modular too, so they're kind of playing on that sort of Lego style play mode, cool. like Legions.
Yeah.
Kind of cool, doing something different. Dude, there were just so many people. This is what is it?
Yeah, those are really cool too. The white car off to the left is more of a
Odd Frog,
a custom version of that car, but right out of the box, it looks amazing. Super cool. Yeah. I love the matte finish of it.
Odd Frog Entertainment stuff. Yeah. I was surprised because I didn't realize they were doing all of this stuff as well.
So that stuff I think they're doing for Bull Airs, but I'm not positive. We talked a little bit about it, but I was kind of just like, that's Chuck E. Cheese from the 80s.
Right. And I know Chuck E. Cheese is...
I think he had a cigarette, like the original version. I'm almost positive, but that might be a Mandela effect. I got to look it up.
That was the other universe. But yeah, I think Bull Airs is doing a Chuck E. Cheese, so I'm not sure what's going on with that. But it was cool to see all their different stuff. Like they're doing these little slug toys. I know you've kind of played with the idea, like you were talking about like a keychain at one point. Is that right?
I'm very ignorant. I don't know.
No. I just all good. But this stuff is cool. This customized version of the car is great. But just again, cool to see people do it, other folks in this space, like just pushing what the indie toy thing can be. So it doesn't all have to be like the same format. Like obviously you're working in a 112-ish space, hyper articulation, all that. It's cool to see other types of toys as well. So I'm really digging what I'm seeing here. Just weird stuff, like a giraffe with a giraffe centaur lady. I don't know what this is, but I'm kind of into it. Just the weirdness of it all.
Oh yeah. That's their own thing. And it is really fun. I like the red guy with the eyeball in the middle of his head.
Not killer. Like,
for sure.
Character. Yeah, I'd love to get my hands on something like that. So Odd Frog was there. Again, this is the collab with I hate to call him this, but Bud.
Well, people would know him as Bud Bundy, the actor that played Bud Bundy.
Right. So this is Grandmaster B.
That's awesome. And then this is Son of Savage Dragon. I don't remember what his name is though.
Okay. So shout out to Odd Frog. I need to look more into them because I actually don't know a whole lot about them. 9 to 5 Warriors, which isn't necessarily my thing, but they're making some really cool. I've
They
checked
do
it
a
out.
great job.
Such good toys.
It's
They're like
yeah,
great
they're really
90s.
awesome. It's the
Yeah.
successor to the Food Fighters, which I remember
Yep.
as a kid.
Yep.
I know they relaunched. I think Moose might have relaunched the Food Fighters. You know,
Yep.
around maybe like the 2019, 2018.
Yep. Yep.
And this is a great successor to that. And his ideas are really great as well. Savage Jr. There you go.
Yeah. I'm just catching some of these right now before moving back. Endless was saying that he thinks that they're the ones sculpting the Chuck E. Cheese for Blair's, and I know that Sebastian Gomez did that.
Okay.
Denver for them as well. I love.
They were called the Grocery Gang. That's what it was. I had to look it up because it was going to drive me nuts.
Was that another like old toy line Grocery Gang?
No, I mean it was around 2008. Let's see here.
Oh, okay. Slice Age. I love that name. Anyway, I think these are cool. Like I said, the indie toy space. I love that there's just different types of things happening. Look at this, the full-on
hey, can you
lunchbox with a thermos and stuff. Too cool. Very cool stuff. I was a Mac Classic guy, so I appreciate that. Old school. Cool stuff. Moving on. These guys, Brutal Realm, what's up, Realm Toys, doing their stuff. I know they're gearing up to get these figures out. I'm looking forward to these. This is another one that I went big on. I really, really love this new body type, much larger. It's kind of like our earlier conversation, Jason, about the Motu movie. This is that classic 80s Gigantor body type for those, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Lou Ferrigno style. Oh, there he goes. Bodies. Definitely looking forward to this. I love them. Look at this guy out here, James. Love this little world building that they're doing with these stuff. It's unknown. Like they said, hey, this is just for display to kind of establish what the world looks like for a Brutal Realm. But if there's interest, they might consider developing these as play sets or whatever. Very, course, we can't help but see a Castle Grayskull going on in here. But I love what they're doing. Shout out to Brutal Realm. It's just crazy. Like already, I think we've gone like 6 or 7, and like there's still more to go. You've been
their
talking
presentation's
too,
awesome
right?
as well.
Yeah, these guys are great. Looking forward to those. But things move on again in the 3.75 inch.
World War
How about presentation?
I mean,
yes,
absolutely amazing. I love it.
I know you and I are graphic nerds and designers.
Right.
How amazing is this stuff? They
win the presentation prize. This is my favorite booth for presentation.
I am not a 3.75 guy, but I spoke with oh my god, I'm blanking on his name. Yes, I spoke with him on the channel, and by the end of the show, I was like, you know what, screw it. I need to back
get a couple, man. They're awesome
because they're doing such a good job. Look at this, like just really bringing back the whole nostalgia.
He was teasing me because I couldn't remember which figures I ordered on my Kickstarter, and I was like, dude, I don't even remember the name of my own toys. I'm not gonna remember the name of your toys.
And he's not even kidding, folks. He doesn't remember the name of this.
I'm like, we need to ship the lion. Ship the lion.
That's the same thing with me. I was like, was it the Jaguar guy? Is it the hyena guy?
The Jaguar. We need 20 SKUs of the Jaguar. We need 20 of the Jaguar SKU.
So I've only seen pictures of these, but it's got to be awesome. It's like walking into an old video store.
So if you look at that television, that is a 2-up of the little blue skeleton person. That is a 2-up of the figure.
Sergeant Spectre, yeah.
Come on, Cat. What are you stopping in front of my face?
I'm not rubbing it in. I just happen to know because I was filling out my backer kit. And
see?
Sergeant Spectre. And they also have this really cool
that's
this
awesome.
guy right here. This little Steamboat Willie. It's like a demon.
Yeah, it's awesome. And that's a mask. Willie. So that will come off. And then if you look at the bottom,
I haven't seen these.
Those bloody eagles are actually backpacked. Like it plugs in. It's a great idea.
I was gonna say flayed, but you're right. What do they call them? That's the Viking, the eagle. What do they call it?
It's the bloody eagle. Yeah.
Bloody eagle. Oof. Yeah. What a brilliant idea. So they did that as a backpack. They
didn't have TV back then. I mean, what do you expect?
Oh, the Vikings, the Vikings and their entertainment. Yeah, this stuff is really cool, man. I'm excited to see these. Again, just
That's
cool to
a cool,
see
fun thing. Yeah,
the variety of what people are doing in the indie toy
for
space. Like
sure.
this is the thing, like let's be real. These folks who are doing like Hasbro, Mattel, I gotta pause on Mattel because I gotta say Mattel seems to be doing some really cool things this year and moving forward. But these guys are taking risks, right? They're like, oh, here's a little random, like you said, the accessory, or here's a little
Right.
random, like crawling little guy that you can get
Right.
to.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the beautiful thing. There's just a lot more pound for pound. I just think they're a lot more free to
They don't have board members
experiment.
to explain like why we
Sure.
need you. I want to know why you need a 400-pound scorpion with your GI Joe.
Right. I want to know why we're spending time to develop all these like extra little graphics because
Right.
it's cool.
Isn't that cool?
Incredible stuff.
It builds branding, and you're like, now you're invested in it. It's cool, man.
They got me. They totally got me.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's the kind of nerd I am. Look at that. Anyway, shout out to Grindhouse Toys, World War Hell. Then we've got the Cryptoids, of course, who are just in the midst of their Kickstarter.
Yes, they're doing fantastic. So you can see, I did the first paint master, which is the Mothman down at the bottom left. But I'll be doing all of their paint masters, so I'm super excited about starting on those as well.
So you did the original Mothman. Love the colors on these guys.
Thank you. I mean, that was there. They selected the colorway. I just matched it.
But it popped so well. It's so cool.
Thank you. I did do a wash on his little totem accessory.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought it could benefit from it, and obviously we spoke about it before actually doing that. I guess we can say I did Arlen and Adam's zombie figures. There's zombie astronauts. We're in the process of doing that now. I'm on the last figure, so
I heard your I haven't seen them yet, but I've heard that they sort of rethought some of the colors and stuff, so I'm excited to see those for sure.
Yeah, they did. They kind of streamlined stuff and made it all a little bit more uniform.
Love it. Hey, shout out Cobweb. Thank you for being a member for 25 months, man.
Nice.
I owe you all sorts of stuff. Hey, did you back Chris Bouchard's asked a couple of times, did you back anything for Cryptoids? And I know puts us in a weird spot. Yeah.
I did, but I don't remember what I backed. Like I back it and then I totally forget about it until the backer kit or whatever shows up.
I hate to disappoint you, Chris, but that's his answer.
I'm pretty sure I did. If I had to take a wild guess, I'm positive I did the Mothman, but I got other stuff as well, and I just don't remember what it is.
And I am sad to report that this is not something that I backed, actually, just like I didn't back the
very specific type thing. I feel like it's TMNT adjacent. You know, it's a very similar look.
It's like
it's got way more articulation than
it's
like
of that era. I feel like it's in that Teenage Mutant Ninja
so.
Turtles, Playmates, Toxic Avengers,
and I
with a little bit of Captain Planet.
This is something that's accessible to cryptid fans. That might not necessarily be, expecting a certain degree of articulation,
Right.
And you're not dealing with just the human form. We've got like the Sasquatch and the Yeti are very obviously, closest to the human type form. And then you get kind of wild with the aliens, the little grays are like, kind of there, and then the lizards are the proportions are way off from like a human, and then the Mothman's obviously really wild. How
about that?
And the Bat Boy, it's just all over the place. So like, in a good way.
So Justin is saying here, I kind of like the loose collector stuff better. I mean, that's the thing. That's what I was gonna say. Like, this isn't quite screaming to the kind of collection that I have, because I'm very much in line with this, this loose collector, highly detailed, posability,
it's got
all
washes
that kind
and
of
dry
stuff.
brushes and stuff on it, and highlights.
But that's not for everyone, and I think that's what's really great about this.
Whenever like, a lot of times indie creators have questions for me, and I tell them, make the toy that you want to make. You're gonna have it. There's a certain amount of audience, but the last thing you want to do is like, make a successful toy line that you have to keep going in a direction that you're not in love with, Like the AWOK stuff is very much adjacent to Marvel Legends and GI Joe classifieds, and the fact that they're very accessible. There's not an insane amount of like dry brushing and washes and stuff on these figures. I want people to be able to pick them up, play with them, not worry about like paint scuff and stuff like that. They're very much designed to be played with and collected second, while a Mythic Legions is the inverse of that. Like I play with my Mythic Legions and pose them and get them all kitted out and then set them on the shelf and look at them very much like an art piece. I'm like, this is an awesome figure.
Stare at it like an amazing
I'm going to
sculpture.
take it down and dust it and maybe like repose it, and then I'm not going to mess with it again,
Yeah, and so I think that's the beauty again of this phase of toy collecting and toy making.
Right. There's so many different ways to play with your collection.
Yeah. And there's so many, like all these toy makers that are coming out of like seemingly everywhere, which is great because we grew up on toys and we have creative brains and we want to make stuff. But like everybody's entering it from their vantage point. So I love that YHS is like they created a toy line that's very YHS and very, it's like this is so them with the cryptid thing.
Exactly. And it's awesome.
90s cartoon. It's great.
I took my little girl out for daddy-daughter date night on Friday night, and we went to Target after, and there was a bunch of
daddy stuff.
Well, we were like looking through the toy aisles, and at Target, and I called them kids, but they were probably like these both boys and girls in their 20s, and I was like, look, see, older kids are playing, 18, 20, whatever. Anyway, kids are like older kids are interested in toys too. And she said, I think it's just a fad. And I said, I don't think it's a fad. I think people are interested in these things and they're just now socially been given permission to continue to enjoy this stuff,
Exactly. Yep. So. Exactly. I mean, yes, 100%. I think that's where we're at. And I think as a result, it's created a space for people to make stuff. And as we have the technology and like there's more and more people doing it and people like you who are like, hey, you want to make toys? Let's talk about it. It's happening. And so this stuff is all really cool, man. We keep saying like, oh, certain types of toys have a lot of detail. I got to say like this thing it's got a lot of detail. These sculpts are amazing. Like don't get me wrong. They're just a different type of toy.
I think of toys very much in the way that I think of like architecture, like a lot of import toys are neoclassical, where it's like it's got all the detail, it's got all the paint app, it's got all the box, everything's maxed out, detailed, and this is a little bit more like simplest, minimalist type stuff, and so there's just something for everyone. And behind the scenes, we talk about customers' expectations, and it's not their job to like understand all the nuances and stuff like that. It's our job to like put out stuff to a certain segment of clientele, so.
I think this is exactly what Brian's saying. It's like, he said, I wanted a good Sasquatch. Now I got 4 or 5 options. And that's the beauty of where we're at. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I actually think that the Collie Buck could make a cool Yeti figure. Maybe not a Sasquatch, but I feel like it would make a cool Yeti repaint just for fun,
Collie Prime?
Right, Collie Prime, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, put a pin in that. Let's talk let's talk things that might get us. Let's talk about things that might get us sued later. I have some ideas.
Yeah.
But Fanboy Prime, this is exactly what I'm saying. And that's what I appreciate about what you just said, Jason, when you're giving people advice, make the toy that you want. This is very much YHS. And
yeah, for sure.
And I know like there's a ton of people who are really into that. I would say a lot more people are into this kind of toy.
They really are.
I mean, it's that I'm into. So I get it.
It's just a fun toy. And when you look at the Star Wars Valentine and Christmas and what else? Halloween stuff.
The Hasbro.
That is a gateway toy for, like a girlfriend is going to get that for her boyfriend. She's like, I know you're into toys and stuff, you get that. And then she might start getting interested in toys, you know what I mean? And she's not necessarily who they're targeting, but like, it's a great segue. Like this is going to get people that might love cryptids that's not necessarily interested in toys into toy collecting.
Yep.
And their
Agreed.
taste will evolve, you know?
I love that we took a little segue here on the cryptoids one, but just again, real quick, just to move on. Another great toy maker that was there was these guys, the Bull Airs group, and then they're working, it says Sneak Attack Toys. But there's their take on the Chuck E. Cheese that they showed at, I want to say, New York Toy Fair. But this stuff's cool. And then this is by the homie Sebastian Gomez doing the sculpt for this thing.
That was really from cool. Like a Saturday morning or something, right? I don't remember. Like,
yeah, Denver, the Last Dinosaurs. After my time, I wasn't, but really cool.
It looks very familiar. And it looks great. You know, it's just
yeah, that's their bread and butter.
Yeah,
is the shoes that they're doing.
I guess cool stuff. So I did like packaging design and paint masters for the Biker Mice from Mars.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and the guy that, you know, whenever we were discussing it, I was like, cool, I don't know what that is. And he's like, it's the Biker Mice from Mars. And I was like, I don't know what that is. Like, I have no idea what you're talking about, you know? And I had to recreate the logo and all kind of stuff. And so I had to do a bunch of research to just kind of figure out what the heck I was working with, you know?
Oh, that's funny. So you weren't even familiar with the property. Gotcha.
I did the paint masters for, and this isn't a sell. I did paint masters for it's like a sci-fi show on Amazon or something. It's The Expanse. And I was like,
yep.
Yeah, I was like, all these references are not lit in white. They're lit in like red and blue and stuff. Right. I was like, I don't know what this is. I don't know what it looks like, you know? So like, again, it was like a bunch of research to figure out what colors the costumes actually were. In a good way, in a fun way. It was like a detective
That's hilarious that you had to do the paint masters for a thing you weren't familiar with, and you're getting reference shots that are like.
I had to redo one of the dresses because I thought it was black and it was actually purple, just because it was getting lit by red and blue, and it looked like it was black, or maybe the inverse. I don't remember now.
Sorry, just saw your the other comments. You're good?
Yeah.
You're good? Okay.
I gotta, yeah. I still need to go and check though.
Do you?
So I might need to dip out.
Yeah, for sure. Do you want to get going now? I just saw that.
If you're okay with it, I want to make sure.
Of course. Okay. Yeah, you got to do what you got to do.
Okay.
Let's release Jason and we'll finish up the show. There's just a couple more things to look at. But really quickly before you go, let me just ask you, of all, like, because there was so much there. I think there were just a couple more that I was going to show. There was this. Let's see. Then there's a Tide Run Corsairs that were there, and then
that's what I want. That's the one. I gotta have it.
That was my question. Looking. So what are your what are your highlights? So this one's a big highlight for you. No Angels, you said?
Sure. Man, I'm excited about it. Oh my.
And then before you go, given the breadth of toys that we're looking at, how are you feeling about being in this indie toy space right now in this moment?
I love it. You know, I tried not to go on this journey, and it's kind of like you're trying to get out of your destiny or whatever. I spoke with another indie toy creator saying, you know, like, I tried for 10 years to do the corporate thing, and I just kept getting like turned back and around and twisted into this where we're at right now, you know. And it's cool to see people following their dreams. I always tell people, I'm like, you get one chance at this. You might as well like do what you want to do and enjoy yourself, you know?
Yep.
And man, look, dude, I cannot wait to play with these toys. Like, these look so fun.
I've had these prototypes here at the house, and I got to play with.
I'm so jealous.
So they
need to have some hip articulation. I mean, some thigh cuts. Like, it doesn't look like they have thigh cuts in there, but I'm sure they just merged it. But let's get some thigh cuts in there.
I'll let you know, because
they might be similar to how the Four Horsemen does it, you know, which I like very much. It's like kind of hidden, but we need some thigh swivel.
So that's your highlight. This line in particular that's going to be going up for Kickstarter relatively soon.
Just because I like Aztec and Mayan stuff so much.
Yep.
And they look very toyetic. Like, this looks like it's going to be fun to play with.
Oh yeah.
You know, I'm probably going to like those wings. I'm probably going to like, that's probably my least favorite one, even though it's awesome looking. The wings, you know, I probably will pull them off. Who knows? I don't know. I'm gonna have fun.
Well, you haven't even. I don't know if you've checked out their stuff. I
gotta check it out.
I got down with these guys, but this guy just, you know, you'll love the colors on.
It looks so cool.
Because that
look awesome. I'm super excited about it.
What am I trying to do? The one with the wings.
Yeah.
is like a bright bluish, some
Oh
kind of
yeah.
bluish greenish hints and
It,
some purple. I think
and
you'll
I
love
think
it.
that's probably part of the reason I like it so much. Like, like Mexican culture's got these really gorgeous, vibrant, ultra saturated color palette,
Yeah, man.
which is interesting because it's like, northern Mexico's desert, So um it's just one of those things that I don't know why it speaks to me so much. It's kind of like a movie, like a lot of people hate Oblivion, but it speaks to me. There's something about it that I just absolutely have a very emotional attachment to, So happy Sunday, happy Easter.
For sure. All right, man. I know you've got stuff. I hope everything's good. Let me
I'll
know.
let you I'll let you
Send,
know
send
in
me
the
a
in the
message, but
I'll
you
keep
do
you
what you
updated.
need to do for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
And we'll continue. We'll close up here soon. But thank you for hanging
Yeah,
out
dude.
with
Thanks for
us,
having me.
Jason.
I had a
Yeah, it was
great
good to
time.
catch up.
Yeah, man.
And then the next couple of weeks before you go, I'll talk about this at the end for everybody, but I'm going to be repping more Spero toys on the West Coast. So
Right.
look out for that. And then what have you got going on? And I'll circle back to the West Coast stuff. What's
I
the
think the
upcoming
next
show?
thing we're doing is IshCon.
Okay.
And then after that, we're doing CarverCon. And then we're going to be doing Joe Fest.
Okay.
And that's as far as I can remember. But if you go on Instagram, we've got a post that's showing the upcoming shows that we've got going on. So yeah. All right, y'all be good. Thank you so much.
Take care, family.
All right, man. Okay, bye-bye.
Message me. All right, folks, let's go ahead and let me get rid of him. You're out of here. All right. Let me move myself. Oh, that's weird. Let me do one of these and then do one of these. All right. Just to finish up with this stuff, man. Obviously, there was hella toys at an indie toy makers there, and we didn't even finish. I thought this was the last one, but I realized no, there was way more. And I don't know if he's still here because I know he dropped in and he was super sweet. Carlos, if you're still there, say what's up. But this is Carlos and Jorge's project from the realm. Yet another amazing toy, and I mean Carlos badass reviews right there. Yet another amazing indie toy maker that's going to be dropping their stuff on a Kickstarter relatively soon. I know they're working on that, but they were at Toylanta also showing their stuff. This is all early work. The soft goods in particular, they've said are not final. I know some folks were like, hey man, as it says here by Acorn 30, some of the soft goods are, looking big. Yeah, this super early stuff. They just wanted to sort of show what they were working on. So what you see here does not necessarily reflect the final figures at all, or even what they hope for them to be. They're still working on them. But just as far as like aspiration and where they're going, this stuff's looking real cool, channeling that super highly detailed universal monsters kind of vibe, right? The archetypes of the vampires in this case, and all the different sort of like I don't know, like the prototypical, or maybe the I guess archetype is the best, the ones that stand out, the versions of vampires that stand out in movie history, comic history, literary history, cartoon history. So shout out to them. I know they're getting poised to do their thing. And then finally, truly last but not least of the stuff that I prepared, and it's not even every single indie toy company that showed up at Toylanta to show off their amazing stuff. These guys kind of came out of nowhere, kind of caught wind that they were going to be doing their thing. But this is Skull and Bones with their Legends of the Seven Seas, I want to say is what they're called. Line that's also going to be going up, I'm assuming, for Kickstarter. I don't know that they've said exactly what their plans are, but maybe they have and I just haven't heard yet. These are guys that I definitely want to have on the channel and to share a little bit more about what they've got going on. But definitely they got a lot of attention on the show just because of this massive display. So this is actually their gigantic part of their pirate ship, right? Which is wild. And apparently it comes apart in different, sections to display. But also there's an action figure line. So pirates, there's going to be 2 different pirate lines coming down the pike at 112. We kind of moved pretty quickly, and I'll go back to Tide Realm Corsairs in a little bit because I know Jason got caught up in a little. So here's I don't know, what do you call these things? One piece. Let me think. What do you call that? But this is the front of the ship. Is it prow? But I don't know. And then here are the different figures. You can kind of see their characters coming up. So these all look really interesting to me. Definitely seems to be, you know, not just like straight up pirates, you know, that we know from like Hollywood and literature and stuff, but it seems to be very stylized, right? You can kind of see from the armor. There's definitely a vision that they have for the kinds of pirates and the kind of world that this exists in. So I don't know much other than what is here. But it's definitely on my radar and something I'm going to be checking out. Man, love this guy. The Maelstrom Brotherhood, Captain Toric, Stormbringer, Drake. Cool looking character, man. This is what I want to see. Hell yes. Give me all the different types of fucking, oh, oops, I dropped an F-bomb. Heroes in the action figure world. Look at those gauntlets too. So I'm really excited to sort of hear more about this world. I love that we're going to get 2 different pirate lines going on. It's got creatures in it. Look at this guy. So looking really interesting. It's all super early, so I'm not going to really comment too much on what they're showing in terms of prototypes and engineering. Having worked with AWOK and, you know, talk with other lines, I know that all of it's just iteration and early versions until you get to that stage where you got to make a call with the factory. But these are looking cool. Super intrigued. Curious what you all are thinking. Hey, we've got Mythic Dolphin. And thanks everybody who's jumped in today throughout. Sorry, I've tried to prop your names up, but, you know, didn't want to necessarily stop the conversation. But this is cool stuff. Yeah. This is nuts. Thank you, Brian. That's not what I was going for, but yes, they are called boats. And I will, what's he saying? Brick, you should have the creators for Gum It Up makers on the show. They have some really good stuff on the horizons. Message me. I want to know a little bit more. I'm always looking. So I'm assuming that's like the 9-to-5 worker, 9-to-5 warriors stuff. Let me know. Always curious to talk to new toy makers and creatives because that's what this show's all about. Just looking at all this cool stuff. So definitely looking forward to these. Let me circle back real quick and give the others their due. This is right around the time when Jason said he messaged me. I got a little distracted. He's got stuff going on. But shout out to the old IP, period. I get that. Like drawing in on that nostalgia. Chuck E. Cheese and some Icy and some Garbage Pail Kids. Man, who doesn't remember going to Kmart and getting a good Icy? But the other shout out is like people doing different form factors because this is Bull Airs. Went back to Bull Airs and they're doing the shoes. I love that they're creating sort of toys and accessories for their shoes. So I love that, man. I'm really loving the creativity. You got the Killer Tomatoes, Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. That was a weird thing to make a cartoon of. Again, more Garbage Pail Kids. And then freaking, what do they call it? The Pizza Cats, Samurai Pizza Cats. That's wild. So shout out to them for doing this stuff. Love it, Bull Airs. Here's where I wanted to go. Didn't really get to spend too much time because I know because Jason had to go. But this is Tyrone Corsairs who are going up for Kickstarter on May 1st. So look out for that. May 1st, this is supposed to drop. This is their take, again, on Pirates. We were just looking at that other Pirates line. But again, 2 very unique takes on a pirate world. The paint on these are just absolutely gorgeous. Of course, these guys are working with Quaid and Abby are working with the 4 Horsemen to do these figures. So, you know, there's a quality we've come to expect and just sort of know it's going to come from the 4 Horsemen, and that's all going to be embedded in these figures. Look at this the paint job. God, that's gorgeous. So again, if you've seen this channel and this show, you're familiar with this stuff. Let's Rise of the Fifth Sun. You've heard me talk a whole lot about. They put out that they were going to be doing a Kickstarter May 5th. That's the latest that I've heard. So maybe those 2 lines are going to be like, I think it's a question mark. I'm curious how that's going to work out. But these figures are absolutely gorgeous. And I can't wait for these as well. All right. And so we saw From the Realm. Can't wait till they get to a place where they can announce what's going on for them. And then Nolan just sent me that. Thank you, Nolan. And then these guys, I gotta say, Brian is saying that's a 9-foot boat. Damn. I love that you guys call it a boat. I mean, it's a ship, it's a boat, but that's a ship. Yeah, man. Cool stuff. Fanboy Prime is saying, love the Tide Realm figures. Also have a bit of pre-order and crowdfund fatigue. Totally get it. Which is why I kind of needed to pause on things like Cryptoids and even the 4-H, the Mythic Legions RPG. I'm anticipating, I'm back in Ashen Oath. Shout out to Brian Von Burke, who wasn't at this show, but also would fit right in this list of amazing indie toys of, yes, Sath, all great figures. So between that and let's see what else. Oh gosh, there's a bunch of, of course, the ones we just talked about, Tide Realm. I'm gonna back Rise of the Fifth Sun. So I just kind of knew. And then Loose Collector hit me with some Dogmen and some Chupacabras, and I'm just like, man. So anyway, that was the main stuff that I was going to cover with Jason from his time at Toylanta. I did want to, well, let me also say, just remind you, go check out Bro Guy Toy Reviews. I have a link that'll be to his channel and hit this video. You can use the QR code, etc., etc. But let me quickly, before we close out, just give you a sense of what happened at WonderCon, where Adam and I were at, representing Spero on the West Coast. So this is WonderCon, which is essentially it's the sister show. It's the same folks who do San Diego Comic-Con. So it's a smaller show. Anaheim used to be up here in the Bay Area in San Francisco. Then they moved to Orange County. I used to love it up here, but for a bunch of reasons, they moved down there. And I will say right off the bat, if you sat here and you listened to all that amazing Toylanta stuff, super different at WonderCon. WonderCon is very much pop culture in general. It's called WonderCon, and it's a sister show to San Diego Comic-Con, and comic books are a huge part of it. The Artist Alley was like probably, like, from my gauge of the show, was the like hottest place in the convention this year. A lot of action over there, a lot of great artists selling really cool stuff. Toys, a little bit more of a struggle. Mondo wasn't there this year. I'm trying to think of other folks who were there that last year that didn't show up this year. Funko was there last year, didn't show up this year. There were quite a few folks who pulled out of the show. As a result, I don't think the toy thing was really huge this time around. So we were one of the few companies that were there, along with Fresh Monkey. Well, there was a Big Bad Toy Store. I did it again. Booth that had Big Bad Workshop stuff, the Longbox Hero stuff. I'm forgetting the name of the folks who do the awesome Laurel and Hardy figures and Prisoner figures. And then Gridiron was there. All great people. And then there was us, and then there were some awesome customizers. We were next to Elliot, who does like some amazing stuff. But I will say, in the sea of pop culture, you know, you've got people dressing up like pop for favorite stuff from TV, comics, cartoons, anime, manga, what have you. The action figure stuff is kind of its own little world. And unfortunately, they had us all over the show, and it's a huge show. So it was like kind of hard for people, I think, to sort of find us, right? But that said, I think it was really cool for folks who are new to the line to just do what happened a lot, was like, you know, sort of walk by and be like, what's that? You know, and ask questions about the line and be excited that we tell them there's a comic book. We showed them on the computer. I don't know if you saw that here, but I was playing them some of the video that I put together of sort of like the comic intro and the story, the sort of conceit of the whole world. And so still awesome. Still a great way to introduce people to new IP. We definitely got a lot of really positive attention and positive feedback from the folks who did stop and kind of like were pulled towards the booth. So that was cool. But this is my larger question that Josh Brown is hitting on. Like, do I think toys will continue to pull out of WonderCon? And I'm not totally sure if those companies pulled out because you know, for any real reason other than like, I don't know what Mondo has to show at the moment or what Funko had to show at the moment. Right. So like, I don't know exactly why they were pulling out. I just noticed that they weren't there from last year. And I will say that next year, WonderCon, I think, is a week ahead of Star Wars Celebration, which is going to be what, like 20 miles north in Los Angeles. So it feels like it's going to be hard to attract an audience at WonderCon next year. But I guess less about like pulling out of WonderCon specifically, Josh, and more about my question mark is, as far as like pop culture goes and consumption habits of the modern world, I do sometimes wonder how likely it is that we're going to find new folks to buy toys and be interested in this hobby compared to the way it's grown the last couple of years, especially post-pandemic and even prior to then, right? It was kind of on this thing, this trajectory. So you heard me and Jason talking earlier, and I think if you look at Toylanta, it seems like, man, indie toys are just going to grow and grow and grow. My question is, can we capture the attention of the broader pop cultural audience who, as Jason pointed out, are really into, he named 2 IP. He said Minecraft and Roblox, which are both screen-based video game properties. And you gotta like, it's a stretch, a little bit of a stretch to be like, hey kids, you like playing with this stuff on the screen, play with it in plastic form. It's just a little bit of a learning curve, I think, and a kind of an introduction of a play habit that just wasn't there for the rest of us, right? When we were growing up, it was like, watch the show, collect the thing, play with it. So I think kidults, adult collectors, we're going to keep getting fed really well with folks like you, Josh, creating great toys. I totally skipped Dave Igo, man, at Toylanta. But you and Dave and other folks are putting together like great toy options and your accessories. Dave's doing Monstores. He's working with you to put out awesome like creatures to kind of swap out on Mythic Legions figures. Jason and us are doing Spero toys. You know, you got YHS, like all sorts of new stuff is going to continue to happen. But I do wonder if it's going to penetrate the broader pop culture audience. So I don't know. I think this is it right here, Fanboy Prime. We're going to have to increase the fan base for the future of the hobby. And I think that's what I really appreciate about the way Jason's tried to position Animal Warriors of the Kingdom, right? Is very much like he wanted to make a toy. He wanted to make an IP that hits similar notes to some of the 80s and 90s properties that we love. Very much a YA story, a young adult story, a hero's journey with Pale, but introducing a broader world, dealing with some pretty serious themes along the way, and then creating just cool ass toys to go with it, to continue the adventure at home. So I'm with you, Fanboy Prime. This is exactly what needs to happen. And I appreciate folks like Jason who are trying to do that. That said, I also appreciate, you know, Mythic Legions for giving me a dope, highly detailed bear to play with, and Loose Collector for giving me kick-ass cryptids, right? That are highly detailed and a little bit scary and fun. Yeah, just see mine and Jason's conversation earlier, man. The toy thing is wild. The indie toy thing in particular. But I'm with Josh. We're a dying breed, literally. I'm getting old. But we got to start with kids. How easy is it to get an adult that didn't play with toys to play with them now? I will say these guys, Lego, they've got that on lock, man. They have been their largest growing customer base are adults who never played with Lego, which is wild. And obviously that's a very different vibe and an easier entry point, I think, for a lot of people, because there isn't, they don't need to know an IP, or they don't, there's something about the play pattern of action figures that's very specific. Whereas I feel like Lego is broader. It's like the people who are doing the adult coloring, I think, oh yeah, I remember I can do that. And that's an easier entry point. I think the same thing goes with Lego. So we shall see, we shall see. Raceland Zero saying, I think maybe other mediums might suffer, and maybe that will bring people instead of toys. Yeah. I wonder. Let me just quickly show a little bit more of what the vibe was still like. You know, obviously you saw all of these, and man, these are amazing. I think someone was asking earlier, is that a blue variant of Cannibal? And it's not exactly. So what it is, solo. This is actually a test shot. So again, whatever random plastic was in the factory, they put in the hopper to test out the mold and see what kind of additions they could spit out of that steel mold. And so this just happens to be what it was there. It also helps to sort of create some kind of contrast so you can kind of see all the different builds. Oh, this armor sits on that leg, etc. And then proof it right with that. So they sent this out in January, I want to say, and gave the feedback. Then they came back with these about 2.5, 3 weeks now. And these are the painted samples of this. And so same with this head. So this isn't a blue version exactly, but I know it's real tricky. But the same folks who do Toylanta are doing Joelanta, yes. And this is an exclusive tribute to another known 80s character that might not be the real one, but might be fake. And this is Felonious. So that was a real weird way to answer your question, but yes, there is sort of a blue variant, but that's not exactly what's being shown in that picture. Anyway, so this stuff was cool to show, man. Please, can someone validate the posing on these versus Jason's Toylanta display? Because shout out to Cheney again, and this is me and Cheney playing with these figures. Cheney's stuff is much more interesting. Poses are much more interesting than mine. But I think, no slouch either. But very cool show. Cool to have these. Cool to show these. And the best part of this is that I can now bring these. The reason I have them here is because I'm going to be bringing them up and down the West Coast to a couple different shows, which we'll get to in a second. So here you go. So I can show you this. This is all on IG. Yeah, there's that Kali Prime. I just wanted to pose them up and show off. I love doing this just to kind of show off the Animal Warriors of the Kingdom posability, that butterfly. I'm just in love with that butterfly and the head positioning. And then the ball jointed waist, all of that stuff. I love to engage. And then I know that it might seem like we're cheating because we have stands there, but that really truly is like these figures will stand in those poses, but not when you've got like a bunch of people walking by and hitting the table and all that kind of thing. So that was just for safety. Look at this, man. Just really that archer pose. Like, come on, man, that's Legolas right there trying to. And then of course you've got there's our hero Pale in alternate armor. So there's some good stuff. Raceland saying, gotta love how chunky they look, and they have the AWOK certified playability. Absolutely. And that's what I was really, really trying to show. Like, we can do these with the original buck for sure. But yeah, we can do that with these too. And if you're familiar with Thane, Thane's kind of a limited gorilla buck. Like, he's absolutely got more limited mobility and articulation. These things are like, it's like the original body, just thicker. We're still kind of in conversations with the factory, but there are things like, and Cheney pointed this out, like these are two different parts. I can actually show you because I have a figure here. It's actually probably better to see here. So these are two different pieces. You've got the head is made up of this piece here, and then the second piece. And looking to get this second piece even more flexible than it already is, so it can really move. But the fact that they're two different pieces creates, like, it doesn't lock this head in, right? Like, you can still get them to look side to side by releasing that as two different pieces. Beautiful stuff, really smart stuff. Jason is awesome and doesn't always toot his own horn, but him and the rest of the folks working on this stuff are just doing some really, really, really great things. And this new archer is available right now on the site. I know the site might give you weird information, but it is something that you can order right now. This figure and this figure are available. So check those out. You know what, Brian Brink? See, that's where I was so stuck, man. I'm really stuck. You might be right. I think there's a Joe Fest. There is a separate Joe Lanta. Joe Lanta and Toylanta are actually two separate shows. So, and I'm probably screwing that up. So my bad. Brian Carr is saying, I messed around with the brawlers at ZoloCon, and they move exactly as great as the smaller figures do and have amazing posability. Yeah, man. I'm glad you got to mess with them. Oh man, I'm bummed. I have the same two pictures here. Hey, and there's me and Adam selling on the West Coast. But yeah, absolutely, Brian. They're what I expected. It's what I fell in love with. And then Pop Passion 45, what's up, man? Saying, why not MegaCon? No toy presence there. Florida is very dry. You know what? You know who's down there is Creative Realm LLC. I don't know if Terrence is still here, and I know he'll probably be trying to bring a lot of that indie toy energy down there. I know I want to say Mythic Legions 4 Horsemen showed up there once for a street team event, but I'm right there with you, man. California, I know we're showing you some WonderCon stuff, but and I'm about to show you some smaller shows that we're going to be doing this Animal Warriors of the Kingdom thing at with 4 Horsemen stuff. But we're dry out here in California, believe it or not. And I'm trying to figure out how do we drum that up, especially the indie toy thing. How do I get that Toylanta, and I'm pretty sure Joe Lanta energy, that Paracon energy, that ZoloCon energy, that Legions Con stuff out here on the West Coast. So that's a thing I'm working on. And I'm hoping to make it happen. WonderCon, we did it last year for the first time. I think that was really good. Before I move away from WonderCon, can I just say the funny thing is a bunch of the toy professionals, the folks who are making this stuff, are right here. There's folks all over, but there's a good chunk of folks here on the West Coast. So Brandon, who was here earlier from Mondo, he was actually at the show, and I got to hang out with him, check in with him for a little bit. Who was there? Kyle, who used to be at Super 7, and Johnny, who was also at Super 7, but Kyle is now with Mattel doing some amazing stuff. Johnny's doing some amazing stuff with Jax, right? So they're doing different things in the toy world. Who all was there? The influencers were there. All that, like, got to hang out with a bunch of my favorite folks. The Toy Migos, Cheney was there. Anna Van Winkler was also, works with Gentle Giant and has worked on a bunch of like Marvel Legends and all sorts of toys, some Mattel stuff. He worked on. So there's those folks. Like, these are the folks who were there. It's funny because it's like the toy companies weren't quite there, and there weren't a whole lot of figures available and toys available, but all these guys were there. So it was cool to kind of hang out with them. Who else did I run into? Oh, Artman Customs, Nico, who's working with Gentle Giant, and Adam was there. Augie Perez, that dude's amazing. Used to work at Super 7 and is kind of doing some other stuff right now. I'm not sure if I can say, so I won't, but he's awesome. Another awesome Toy Migo. So it was really cool just to see all of these folks. Ronald from the Collection Nexus was there. Berserk. So that, I will say, that was my favorite part of being at WonderCon. And every year it's just sort of seeing the folks, getting to reconnect with people. Wade stopped by. Artman Customs was there, which is awesome. Freaking Ted Biaselli, who's a big toy nerd, and he works for Netflix and has produced a lot of like my favorite stuff on Netflix. Wednesday, He-Man, Revolution, Revelation, One Piece live action, Avatar, Last Airbender live action. He was there. All that to say is, freaking Trevor from NECA was there and came by and looked at these figures and was like just super warm and just awesome to talk to about Animal Warriors of the Kingdom. That said, like, where's the toy stuff? That's what trips me out about California. It's like, we're all here, we're all doing stuff. How can we bring, the Cursed Dead and all these other, like, and Wade's Unparalleled Universe, Shardamus Prime? How can we bring all those folks to the table and, like, let's do a toy show? I'm working on that. I'm trying to slowly see if we can bring folks together. So let me segue and then finish today, guys. As you know, if you've watched the show before, I help out with the West Coast Mythic Meetup. I know it says West Coast Mythic Meetup, but it's one of hopefully many West Coast Mythic meetups, Legions meetups, and indie toys in general meetups. So this started off 4 years ago now as a gathering of Mythic Legions fans up in the Sacramento area. We're doing it again on Saturday, May 2nd, 9 to 2 p.m. And so that's coming up next month at the Galaxy Game Cafe. Amazing venue. They just a great place for nerds to show up in Sacramento and play games with board games, tabletop games, what have you. They've got like their own awesome Star Wars toy collection on display at this place. It's always awesome to visit and look at. But this year and every year, really, for the last couple of years, Nate Barch has been a key studio rep who's shown up there to kind of like do his thing and be there representing the studio, talk about his art, share his art. I will say, if you're ever interested in talking to the folks who work on these shows, like WonderCon's awesome. And if you can go out of your way to come out of your shell and talk to folks, you can have some great conversations and meet folks. That said, if you go to a show like this, there's like a smaller group of people in a smaller space. You can't help but like just end up in conversations with these folks. My first time going to this show, man, I just started talking with Nate about Lego and about all sorts of other stuff. He-Man, like it was great. And then eventually we talked about Mythic Legions. But like, come out if you're in the area. Come out. It's a great place to talk with folks, meet folks, and buy toys. So a lot of great folks bringing custom parts, painted, sculpted. I think my brother is going to be there. Imaginary Action. Come by, meet him. Come pick up some of his stuff. I'll be there selling Spero toys. And of course, Mythic Legions for Horsemen will be there. And I can tease that there will be some of the traveling figures that are going around. I got to say, I always got to warn folks that I think this is me just knowing the reality is that, don't expect huge quantities. They do go quick. But if you're into that kind of thing, you want to like hunt those figures or just be around other people who are into that, come through. So May 2nd, the next couple weeks on the show, I'm going to be bringing folks on that are involved in the show to talk about it and hype it up. Please tell your folks on the West Coast to fill out this, even if they're like, you know what, they'll never go to Sacramento. Fine. But part of the way this form is designed is to gather as much information about like the interest in West Coast toy shows, particularly indie toy shows, sort of hovering around the gravity of Four Horsemen. And so if I did this last year, and I'm trying to do this as well, and I want to work with the studio and other folks who are interested in toys to see if we can identify folks that they might want to work with to do shows up and down California and even further. Because that's exactly what happened last year with Blake from Recon Rage. And this year, he's doing the first Pacific Northwest Mythic Meetup. So Spero Toys will be at the Mythic Meetup on May 2nd. They'll also be, that's me, we'll also be here at up in the Pacific Northwest in the Portland area. Blake is an awesome host. He's thrown this together. And if you fill out that form that I was telling you about earlier, and again, you follow the links, it'll be there. Let us know. There's a way to kind of let us know if you're interested in either event, the Sacramento event or this one in the Pacific Northwest. Blake's going to put on an amazing show. The most hospitable, warmest person. And he loves this stuff and he loves toys in general. So if you're in that area, go. Ashen Oath will definitely be up there. So come out. That's my pitch for those two shows. In between those two shows, because I'm looking at this guy, Erwin Papa, amazing artist who, congratulations on the Kickstarter. His Kickstarter just ended and funded. Motuniverse. So he's saying hopefully Motuniverse is a gateway for more toy shows. Hopefully. May 23rd and May 24th, which is Memorial Day weekend in Torrance. Redondo Beach, technically. It's the Torrance Marriott. Oh, thank goodness they spelled it right here. There's this Motu-centric fan-created show. And the level of the guests are fantastic. fantastic. It's like, see my earlier comments about how many like toy professionals and toy makers are here on the West Coast. And yet there like wasn't a whole lot of like booths and official representation at WonderCon. It's funny that, you know, PowerCon used to be at this exact location, which is why Mikey wanted to do this show. He's like, man, I miss PowerCon being here. And they reached out to the folks who do PowerCon to see, like, are they coming back? And they were just like, no, it's not something that they were looking to do on the West Coast again. So Mikey kickstarted it successfully, got the seed money, and grew into this amazing show that's happening on May 23rd, May 24th, like a good week before the new movie. So you can come and meet Mike Young of Mike Young Productions, that I think Jason was talking about earlier. There's so many others. Hold on. I know there's a bunch. It came up here earlier. It's going to pop up, but I have it here. Let's see. It's going to show up. Hold on. Let me do this. I know this is DIY style, but you got the voice, Alan Oppenheimer. Come on, focus, dude. The voice of Skeletor, Melindy Britt, the voice of She-Ra. You've got William Stout, the sort of artist designer behind the 80s motion picture. You've got Anthony DeLongis, who was the sword master and like stunt coordinator and played Blade in the movie. Like, it's going to be an amazing show. So to Erwin's point, hopefully it's a gateway, because Spero Toys will be there, capturing the spirit of Masters of the Universe and the toy revolution that it helped sort of cement in the 80s. So it's definitely looking like a fun show. I hope the folks who watch this show can spread the word on all of these things. So reminder, if you can help us spread the word on the Mythic Meetup, come meet Nate Barch. If you know folks in the area who might want a table, we've got tables available. So check that out. Remind people about Memorial Day weekend, Motuniverse at the Torrance Marriott Hotel. Kills me. That's supposed to be an A. And then up in the Pacific Northwest. So Rick Jones, thank you. William Stout didn't just work on Masters of the Universe. William Stout is easily one of my favorite artists. He did some amazing stuff with dinosaurs back in the day. But his designs for Masters of the Universe actually are some of my favorite designs. And if we could somehow get his original concepts in action figure form, all of them, including that She-Ra, man, I'd be a happy boy. Anyway, folks, thank you for hanging out, especially for all of you who were like sticking around and watching the show after Jason left. I know he's the main draw here. Jason, Animal Wars of the Kingdom, such a brilliant creative mind. Next week on the show, I'm going to be bringing a couple of the folks who are helping me organize that Mythic Meetup event. So look out for that. And then the week after, we'll have Brian Von Burke back out to talk about Ashen Oath. And then the weekend after that, the other half of the folks who are organizing the Mythic Meetup will be here. I'm thinking in between there on some weeknights, I might be dropping some episodes. I want to see if I can get Nate back here, because I know Sundays are hard for him, but we can probably do that. So look out for all the cool stuff that's happening here on the channel. The channel this has mainly been it lately. I've just been too swamped with work and life, but I need to get back and try and, get you all some good content. But Sundays, Needless Ephemera, we saw, aka fake news. All the links, I think it's over here now, actually. I think I mirrored, but that QR code there on the bottoms of the screen and the URL that's popping up right now, it's bit.ly/bricksomethingnews, capital B, capital S, capital news. We'll take you to the links. I'm about to finish. I will put all of the links up for today's show, because we looked at a lot, and I really, really need you to please do this. Go to each and every one of the folks that we featured today, all those toy companies. If you're not following them on IG, please do, because they're doing some really good stuff. And unlike, we talk about indie toys. Unlike Hasbro, Mattel, Jax, they just don't have the funds and resources to be in retail stores and get the eyeballs and attention of potential toy buyers, fans of IP, nerdy stuff. So please go follow those folks, share it, let folks know. All right. That said, I got to get to work tomorrow. Boo! I've had a wonderful spring break, but back to the grill again. Thank you to everybody who came by to watch. A lot of great folks here today. Appreciate each and every one of you. For real, you heard Jason talk about the world. There's a reason I'm not ignoring it. It's not like I'm not paying attention, but this is a fun little escape. But that said, I hope everyone's good, and I hope everyone's safe and doing well. We'll get through it like we always do. And in the meantime, we got cool toys to play with. All right, folks. Thank you very much. I'll see you next Sunday here on the Brick Something News. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I think this is where I'm supposed to end it, but I wasn't that slick. Oh, I'm going to play music. Bye, everybody. No, I need the music. It's a habit. Here, bye. You can't see me, but I'm dancing right now, and it looks really good.